Greetings, family. Welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Welcome to the show today. Hey, everybody. It's so good to see you. Come on in, check in, and let us know how you're doing and where you're hailing from. Everybody, we'll give everybody 4 minutes to check in and we'll get started in just a few minutes. Come on in. We'll play some music as you come in the room.
Dr. Kia Pruitt, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way.
See so many of you checking in already. Please hit the like button as you enter the room. We'll get started in just a minute. My favorite part.
Currencies to investments divine. She's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do.
Shalom, family. Come in the room.
Hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and
Hello, family. I see you. Good day, King. Good day, kings and queens. Uh-oh. All right. Greetings, Soul Tribe. How are you doing? Hello, everybody. Welcome. Please let me know if you can hear me. Let me know in the chat. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hi, family. Soul Tribe. Yes, we are one Soul Tribe. Grand Rising. Hi, Glass Moon. It's so good to see you. Thank you all for joining today. I just thought I would have it's just a short conversation. You can hear me awesome today. You were getting your shake on when the music stopped. I can play it low in the background. Oh my goodness. Hi, Georgia. You heard ice? Oh, it's in Georgia at one of the local Walmarts. Oh my goodness. You know, I hear people speaking in codes when they speak of ice, and one of the code terminology that they're using is the ice cream man. It's like, what? You email me, HS? Well, thank you. Was that today? Let me see if I see your email. I don't think I saw your email. Mm, I'll look for it. I don't see it on my regular emails. Is it in the private group or in my regular email, Kia Pruitt? You can hear me. Hello, greetings. So, greetings, grand rising, great afternoon, great evening, joyous rising, depending upon where you're hailing from. Please put in the chat where you're hailing from. I see many of you are right here in the States from different places in the States. Some people may be tuning in from other countries, and that's a good thing because we're going to talk about a couple of things today. We try to cover not just political news or national political news, but geopolitical news, political news that happens all over the globe, as well as global financial news. And the reason why we talk about those different things is because investments are often based upon politics and what's happening in the geopolitical landscape. And you know, over here, I'm concerned about family, wealth, and legacy. So that's why we look at investments, global finances, what kind of movements are being made in the world on a large scale, so that you can know how to prepare your families because governments are dissolving. UK is here. You're visiting? Oh my gosh. Governments are dissolving all over the globe, and they have to because you had people that were usurping authority or overtaking power from people's natural governments, from people's republics. And since they were taking control of people's republics and taking away their sovereignty, people were living in perpetual poverty. But all that's being reversed. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Sandra is visiting. Oh, you're in the UK visiting. Okay. Oh, I hope you enjoy it. Arizona's in the house. North Carolina. Hi, Jeffrey. Birmingham, Alabama, New York. Hailing from the universe. I heard that, Sister Sheila. Great afternoon. Arlington, Texas is in the house. So it's important for everybody to be here from all over the globe because countries are kind of in flux right now as the deep state, or how should I say this, nefarious beings have controlled the countries. However, there are a lot of things happening. There's movement going on all across the globe where people that were in power are being taken down or dismantled. So you have that going on where people are being taken down. You have massive arrests going on all across the globe. And I've spoken about that at length. You can look at my video called FBI Raids. But a lot of people aren't aware of this. In the meantime, there is conversation happening where we are hearing that AI, artificial intelligence, is going to take over jobs, not just high industry jobs, but AI will be taking over all type of jobs, labor jobs, what else? Professional jobs, service industry jobs. And so a lot of people are a little concerned with AI taking the jobs over. But it's not just that people are concerned about with, it's also the fact that governments are being dismantled all over the world. For example, here in the States, the Supreme Court ruled that our federal government had too much power, and that was in June 2024. As such, the Supreme Court of the United States said that there was a doctrine or there was a principle called the Chevron doctrine or the Chevron deference that that was on the books that allowed the government not only to like expand its powers and create whatever statutes, laws, codes, and policies it wanted to, but if a person rejected the laws or the not laws but the rules of the government and they went to court to try to fight for their sovereignty, the courts would defer back to the government and the government agencies. That's why it's Chevron deference. The courts would say, no, we defer back to the governments and government agencies because they are the authority, they are the experts. Well, the Supreme Court of the United States said, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. We're overturning the Chevron ruling. And in fact, we're saying that all of the judges who deferred situations and cases back to the United States Incorporated and any of their federal agencies, any judges that did that, they committed treason. And any judge that knew of a judge that went along with whatever the United States Incorporated did to we the people, and they didn't report it to the president, they committed misprision of treason. So you have the Supreme Court saying we're going to overturn the Chevron doctrine that had given the United States Incorporated and all 447 government agencies power and unlimited power. We're declaring, we're overturning that doctrine. We're declaring that that was an indictment against the people. We're also declaring that the government, the United States Incorporated, is unlawful, unconstitutional, and treasonous. So this is why in 2025, that just 6 months after the Chevron doctrine was overturned, President Trump came in, 6 to 8 months, President Trump came in as the 47th president of the United States Incorporated. And when he came in, he said, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to say what I said. I'm going to do exactly what I said I was going to do on the campaign trail. What did he say he was going to do on the campaign trail? He said, I'm going to totally obliterate the deep state. He also said, I'm going to inject trillions of dollars into the global economy. Well, people thought he just sounded like a little crazy. How are you going to inject trillions of dollars to the global economy? Where's the money coming from? I'm going to tell you in a few minutes. And how are you going to totally obliterate the deep state? And you know the mainstream media did not like hearing that rhetoric because they're part of the deep state. So when President Trump came on in 2025, the first thing he did was to create a sovereign wealth fund. It's important for me to talk to you about, what he did because we're talking about wealth today. Wealth is what the wealth has been stored up in a trust, and a trust called the Sovereign Wealth Fund will be released after the cleanup of all these nefarious people in high offices is over, is complete. Then they're going to release the Sovereign Wealth Fund. So President Trump came in 2025 and he said, I'm going to create a sovereign wealth fund because other nations have one. And this fund is a pool of resources and surplus reserves that's set aside for the people, the nationals of those lands. You hear what I'm saying? A sovereign wealth fund is a state-owned investment, which is a pool of resources put into a trust that's only for the people, the nationals of those nations. I'm saying that for a reason, because not only will the money be released, but it will only go to the sovereign people of those nations. Other nations have sovereign wealth funds. President Trump created a sovereign wealth fund in 2025. And when he created that sovereign wealth fund, he said this wealth fund would be comprised of stocks, bonds, real estate, rare earth minerals, monies from taxes and tariffs, oil, and other resources. And those funds would be used to invest in the people, to invest in humanitarian projects, and to invest outside of the country in order to bring in more revenue. So he did that in 2025. And then in 2025, he actually executed 225 executive orders. And most of those executive orders was to take down the United States Incorporated. He was fulfilling the directives of the Supreme Court. He was fulfilling the ruling of the Supreme Court that had occurred in 2024 when they said the United States Incorporated had too much power. They had to overturn the Chevron Doctrine, which had given its powers. Therefore, the government and all 440, I think it's 447 agencies now have to be downsized. So he did a lot just in 2025, 225 executive orders, President Trump released. And then he created the Sovereign Wealth Fund. The next thing he did was he asked for an inventory of the gold that is in Fort Knox. Why is he concerned about gold in the Fort Knox, creating a sovereign wealth fund, a fund or a trust for we the people, taking down the deep state? Because what he's doing is he's cleaning up America so that we can finally live an abundant lifestyle that we were supposed to live. Now, the deep state, the United States Incorporated, the people in power, they're not Americans. Most of them are foreign nationals. Then you have some of them that aren't even human. They were controlling the government so that they can control the resources. I don't know if some of you heard of this, but we reported this in our private group. Jim Rickards, who is a financier and an ex-banker, actually talked about trillions of dollars that Trump would release very, very soon. He talked about that last year. And people were like, where's the $250 of a secret fund that President Trump is going to release or inject into the global economy? Well, in my private group, I discussed it. We already knew about the Sovereign Wealth Fund, but a lot of people don't know about the mines and the lands and the oil and the resources that's been held by the government, that's been held on lock. That's been all this wealth that has been kept from we the people. All these lands, when you travel, that are fenced off, they say they're government owned. They're not government owned, they're government managed. The gold that some people thought was stolen and taken from Fort Knox, a lot of that is not really stolen. It was hoarded, just like the gold that's all around the Grand Canyon, gold that's flowing around the Colorado River, but all of that will be released. So President Trump said, I'm creating a sovereign wealth fund because all other countries have one. And soon those will be released, those trusts or that trust. That's just one of many that most people don't know about. So while we have all this wealth, the people are starving. People are struggling. People are having a hard time here in America and in other countries abroad surviving. But there's a remedy for that. And we'll talk about that remedy today. The remedy is that everybody, if you heard of Nasara and Jasara, everybody on the globe, every single individual that's over 21 will receive tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Now, I know when I started talking about Nasara in 2017, it didn't make sense because a lot of people hadn't heard of the National Economic Security and Reformation Act or the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. And if you want to be caught up to speed, I have a video that I did on that on my channels, both of my YouTube channels. So basically, essentially, the farmers had taken the United States Incorporated to court and the Federal Reserve Central Banking System and said that the government forced farmers to do nefarious farming practices like sow seeds that are not organic and do certain things to cattle, like feed them food that was not for their bodies, that's not natural for them to eat, food and hormones that would poison us. And the farmer said they didn't appreciate that, but they were forced to do so if they wanted money from the government. They were forced to take out loans in order to do these things. And if they decided they didn't want to make us sick, then the government would withdraw their funds or steal their land. And not only would the government, United States Incorporated, which is not our lawful government, our republic, again, these are bloodline families that usurped authority from the republic. If the farmers didn't go along with that, they would have their land confiscated, they would have the money taken away from them, and some of them would lose their lives. If they wanted to, and agreed to do whatever the government said do, they could take out loans with interest. So the higher courts determined that, in fact, the United States Incorporated was acting unlawfully against the farmers, and not only stealing their land, which was unlawful, forcing them to do things to the cattle and to the lands, forcing them to sell their lands to a lot of foreign nationals that had come here, or stealing the land from the farmers, especially the Aboriginal indigenous farmers here, but any farmer that were here, where they were American or United States citizens, and just selling them off to rich Chinese folk and rich people from India, rich people from other lands. So the higher courts was like, we can't allow this. Not only is this unlawful, it's not just unlawful according to the Constitution for the United States or for America, but it's unlawful in terms of the agreements that world countries or world courts had made. Countries have agreements and codes of conduct. So they were like, you can't do this. Furthermore, the higher courts determined that when they would make them take out loans, the United States Incorporated and the Federal Reserve banking system would place interest on those loans. So you get paid the loans off, but with interest. Interest, or usury, some people call it usury, is against the Constitution. So if they couldn't get them on anything else, they could get the United States Incorporated and Federal Reserve banking system on the fact that they were committing treason by making them take out loans with interest. Then the court said, wait a minute. The government that call themselves the government of the United States Incorporated and their Federal Reserve Central Banking System, they're not just implementing unlawful, unfair banking practices on the farmers, but they've done it to all Americans and all people across the globe, because they always charge with interest. So in those higher court rulings, it was determined that the farmers were correct and they won their claims. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Because what happened was the courts determined not only that the farmers win their claims, but that they would be paid out for their suffering. But the farmers said, we want to be paid in gold. That's lawful money. And so what they agreed upon, the court said, we're going to take down the United States Incorporated and any of those nefarious governments that have enslaved farmers in America and farmers all across the world. And then after we do that, after we get rid of all these people and force them to step down, we're going to pay out the farmers first, and then we're going to pay out people all across the globe for the suffering they've endured through or by or at the hands of the United States Incorporated. And if you don't think that the United States Incorporated enslaved the whole world, then consider why all world's currencies were tied to the USD. All countries were tied, their currency were tied to the United States dollar, because the United States dollar is the dollar of, or was the dollar of, the now defunct United States Incorporated. So remember, all that's been overturned now as of 2024. June of 2024, then July 2024, the Supreme Court of the United States said, you know what? We got to get rid of the Federal Reserve Central Banking System altogether. So they ruled that state-sponsored banks can now operate independently from the Federal Reserve Central Banking System, and they can issue out their own gold-backed currencies. All of this, if not, I don't want to say most of this, came out of the hearings that occurred when the farmers took the United States Incorporated to court. Another way we can prove that the United States Incorporated had enslaved all of us is that even Pope Francis said in his letter, Motu Proprio to Obama, when he wrote that letter, he said, it has been our policy as a corporation to enslave African Americans after the Civil War and use them as chattel property to pay off our debts. Then it was our policy to expand slavery and to use everybody as chattel property to pay off our debts. Do you know how they forced us to pay off their debts? Well, one of the ways they did that was through taxation. So they got us all calling ourselves citizens, which is chattel property, and we had to pay them taxes, the government, and they would send that money over to Britain and maybe other places as well. But everything's being overturned. The farmers won their claims when they took the United States Incorporated to court in the 1990s. And it was determined then that the Grand Army of the Republic in America and republics, armies, and militaries all over the world will work systematically to take down governments, because all of our countries have been run by bloodline families and their friends in a way that they would enslave the world and absorb and steal the resources. So it was determined at the world courts that they would take down the governments, and then they would restore the gold standard. This is where we are today. And pay out the farmers first, and then pay everybody an allotment of money. That law was called the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and the global version of that is the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. All praises. It's over. It's over. I agree. 280 people in the chat. Thank you. I know we need med beds. You can't see them giving Black Americans a monthly anything. They are so afraid we will pass them and take over. Well, Copper Granny, the so-called Black Americans are the indigenous, and because we are the first Americans, that money, a lot of that money that's held up in trust have to be released, because the beings in control that had enslaved us or used us as prisoners of war no longer exist. Most of them have already been dismantled. That's why we're under a government shutdown, because here's the thing. President Trump came in 2025 after the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron doctrine, right, in 2024. The first thing he did was issue out executive orders after he created the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Those executive orders were orders to systematically take down the deep state. And remember, after he did that, he met with the military around September of 2025. He met with military generals all over the world, and then he sent the National Guard all across these lands in America. The National Guard was released to make sure we have order and control on the lands, while the military is actually systematically taking down the government, dismantling the government. So interestingly enough, so he met in September, then we had September 30th, and going into October 1st, we had a government shutdown. During that government shutdown, a lot of people lost their jobs or were forced to take early retirement. And a lot of people were upset about that. And I understand, because that's their livelihood, their well-being. But what many of us didn't overstand and understand is that people lost their jobs because the government is being dismantled. There's no more government. Around that same time, September, October, during the government shutdown, the United States Treasury announced, well, actually they publicized, not publicly, but they did announce, United States Treasury, that the United States Incorporated is insolvent. The United States Incorporated is insolvent, is defunct, it has no money, and that's why we're under a government shutdown. But all this is coming from the Supreme Court overturning the Chevron doctrine, which had given the government expansive powers, and it's also coming from what happened 10 years prior to the Supreme Court overturning Chevron doctrine in 2024. 10 years prior to that, Pope Francis sent out a letter called Motu Proprio to then President Obama. And in that letter, he said, we just need to let everybody know that President Obama is not the president of America or of the Republic of America, president for America. The President Obama is the president of a corporation, the corporation called the United States Incorporated, that incorporated itself in 1871. It's just a company. Group of bloodline families created a corporation, a company, 1871. And Pope Francis said they have their own constitution called the Constitution of the United States Incorporated. They are incorporated as a nonprofit religious organization with me as the head, the Pope. That's why I have the authority today. That's what he said in 2024 when he sent the letter. I mean, in 2014 when he sent the letter to President Obama. That's why I have the authority to say what I'm about to say today. We're not the republic. We're not the lawful government. 2014. Obama's not the president of the country. He's the president of a corporation. So I'm telling everybody our time is up. It was our behavior or our policy to enslave people classified as Black or African Americans and use them as chattel property to pay off our debts after the Civil War. But we can't do it anymore. Our time is up. And then we expanded slavery by enslaving everybody and forcing everybody to pay off our debt. We can't do it anymore. We must stand down. We must cease and desist. Those were his words. I must cease and desist. The presidents must cease and desist. Court workers must cease and desist, like the judges and attorneys. He said, because we've all worked together systematically to enslave the people, starting with the African Americans. Now, he didn't say because the African Americans were the indigenous people that were discovered here, and they're prisoners of war. He didn't say that, but we know that by studying real history. Looking at the 1828 Webster's definition of American should tell us that the definition of America literally is the copper-colored races encountered by Europeans, but now applied to Europeans. The identity of American is applied to Europeans because the Europeans came over here with the Moors that had conquered, Europe, and they were kicked out in 1492. And those so-called Moors that were kicked out of Europe in 1492, remember they had controlled Spain and other parts of Europe from 1711 to 1492. They got kicked out and they came here to America to colonize us, and they brought their European slaves to help colonize the people here. So the identity of America is now applied to Europeans. But American, the literal definition, is the copper-colored races discovered by or encountered by Europeans. So we were used as prisoners of war, chattel property to pay off the debt, and then they expanded slavery. So a lot of people think the Declaration of Independence ended slavery, but it literally just expanded slavery. It went from ownership of owning one slave, a person owning one slave, to corporate ownership, where the corporation or the government can own everybody and classify them as citizens. That's what a chattel property is. Slavery, chattel property, citizenship, all the same thing. They're all synonymous with each other. And the corporation, therefore, gives you privileges. They don't give you rights. Rights come from God, the creator, or creators, however you believe, and your republic. They're acknowledged by your republic. Remember, we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That right is acknowledged by your republic. The governments, they're not republics. They don't acknowledge you as sovereign. They acknowledge you as property, slaves, and citizens, and they don't give you rights. They give you privilege. They don't have a right to give you rights because they're foreign nationals, foreign entities, some of them extraterrestrial beings that have no place on this planet. But all that is being overturned right now. They have lost their power, family. They're being dismantled. That's why so many people are without government jobs right now. Now, the Treasury Department acknowledged that the United States Incorporated is insolvent in September 2025. And of course, it wasn't reported by the mainstream media. I reported the first of 2026 when I learned about it. But most people didn't know that the government was insolvent. Some of you did know. The bankrupt, insolvent, can't pay their debts. So we went under a shutdown, a government shutdown, and then that was from September the 30th and midnight, which was October 1st. Then we were shut down till right around Thanksgiving. They opened it up for Thanksgiving in December, for Thanksgiving, November, December, and Christmas, so people can, stimulate the economy, do their shopping, have a little fun. And then in January, we went back into another partial shutdown. I don't think most people realize that we're still under a shutdown. And the reason we're shut down is because government officials they're losing their jobs. They have to, because the government no longer exists. And you have government officials that are being arrested. And you can listen to my video on called FBI raids are occurring, because they're literally being, these government offices are being raided, and they're being forced, the government officials are being forced to step down, as well as attorneys are being arrested and judges are being arrested. But we all knew this was happening if we followed what was happening geopolitically. If we read Motu Proprio, which I've been reading since 2017, 2018, that says, I'm the Pope, I have the authority to say this. The United States Incorporated is not a lawful government. It usurped authority from the Republic. It incorporated itself in the state of Delaware in 1871 with its own constitution called the Constitution of the United States. We have put presidents in place that are presidents of a corporation who don't have the people's best interests at heart. Most of them don't even come from the country. They said the corporation is a nonprofit religious organization. That's why I'm over it as the Pope, and I have the authority to say our time is up. We must stand down. We must cease and desist. And he said in Motu Proprio, if we don't, the Grand Army of the Republic would be formed and force us to stand down. The Grand Army of the Republic would be headed by General Ham. Interestingly, he said that in 2014. 10 years later, the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron doctrine because they never stood down. They never did what he said they must do, because they wanted to hold on to their power. But he said in 2014, right around 10 years after the farmers had taken the United States Incorporated to the world courts and said the corporation is forcing farmers to do nefarious things for bank loans in order to harvest harmful, sick foods that were causing people to be sick. And the farmers, to whom we owe a debt of gratitude, said, we're the backbone of society. We feed the people. We refuse to do this, to sow Monsanto seeds, to give them sick animals. And some of them that did it, they felt forced. So because they did that and they won their claims, now Nasara law is being enacted. Of course, nobody wanted to listen. No governor, no president wanted to sign off on it. Nobody wanted to step down. But the National Economic Security Reformation Act was supposed to release advanced technology, like somebody in the comment section said they need a bed. It was supposed to release trillions of dollars and put it into the global economy. And it was supposed to get rid of the government agencies that enslaved us, including the IRS, the FBI, the CIA, CPS, all of those 447 government agencies that I've shown you all many, many times. They have to go away. And this will release our funds. Another part of Nasara was that all debt is supposed to be wiped away. All credit card debt, our mortgages, our student loans. By the way, I reported, a month or two ago, that tens of thousands of people have seen their student loan debts canceled, and more are to come because students took the Department of Education to court. And it was determined that the Department of Education and some of these other lending companies that's associated with the Department of Education force students into nefarious, unlawful banking practices, nefarious, unlawful, unfair banking practices. So this lawsuit that the students won, over 30,000 of them, will set the precedent for everybody's student loan being wiped out. But it's interesting, they like to do things in threes, right? They're Freemasons, they're secret society members. 30,000, some reports say 33,000 students had their loans charged off. But this law, this ruling will set the precedent for everybody's student loans being wiped out. But all this had to occur because of NASARA, the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, that said all student loan debt has to be done away, all bank loans, all mortgages, credit card loan, all that will be canceled out. Good news. But there's a global version called the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. All debts have to be done away because banks all have nefarious practices. Whenever we took out a loan, we didn't really take out money. We took out credit. And if they did give us some cash, if it was, what is cash? Somebody put a definition of cash in the comment section. They didn't give you money because money is silver and gold. So they gave you something or they gave you credits, and then what they really did is they went into your trust that's attached to your birth certificate bond and accessed your money. We're all trust fund babies. Paid themselves off, made us sign a promissory note, which in fine print on right in that line, right when you have a line, you got to sign on it. It says that we're giving them access to our trust, as that we're making them the power of attorney of our trust when we sign that promissory note. We don't know that. So that means they pay themselves out of our trust, and then they tell you got to pay them back with interest. Completely unlawful. So they were now, because of all these rulings saying that this was unlawful, all these debts have to be canceled. All these loans have to be canceled. That's part of Nasara Jasara. Again, releasing of advanced technology, the IRS and government agencies being dismantled, all that. And then global funds being injected into the global economy. And then finally, every person on the planet is supposed to receive tens of thousands of dollars. Some say between $10,000 and $100,000 per month into our quantum accounts, non-interest bearing accounts. That announcement called Nasara and Jasara was supposed to happen in 9/11. But first they had to get it signed. No president would sign it. So legend has it that the military, because we've been under military occupation for a long time. Remember, I told you the farmers took the United States Incorporated to court in the 1990s, and it was determined then that they would create a grand army of the Republic. Pope Francis just alluded to it in 2014. But it was determined in 1990s when the farmers won their claims that to the world courts that they would form a world military to take down governments all over the world, not just in America. So when that happened, they formed, and we went under military occupation because the government that was over the America and forcing all nations to use the USD and do whatever the bidding of the United States Incorporated, that government was unlawful. So they had to be dismantled. So it was determined when the farmers won their claim that the Grand Army of the Republic would be formed to take them down. No president would sign it. So legend has it that the military went into the White House and met with Bill Clinton, and some say that they forced him. You won't sign this in the law because we're really in control. You might be president of the corporation called the United States Inc. with your constitution and your rules, regulations, state statutes, codes, and policy, but we run this because you're not the president of the CEO, you're the CEO, Clinton, of the United States Incorporated at the time. You and your peoples and these bloodline families and these entities usurped authority from the lawful government called the Republic. You're not the lawful government. You're not the lawful president. So you're going to sign this here because once you and your peoples usurped authority from the lawful government of the Republic, you are a rogue element. Y'all staged a coup d'etat. Remember studying coup d'etat in world government in high school? Yeah, that's what you all did. And according to the Constitution, if there's a coup d'etat stage that overtakes our lawful republic, we have the right as the military to come in and drag y'all out of office. The people have a right to form a militia to go in and take down people who overtake their governments. That's why all the people that are here from other nations that's waving their flag and yelling and screaming and hollering and marching, they don't want to go home. They got a lot of energy for that. They really need to know they can form a militia to go in and use the same energy to take down the people that's been enslaving their people over there. You know why a lot of people, kind of look at other people that come to America with the side eye? Because Americans fight. I'm going to step aside and talk about the welfare. Americans fight. We ain't going to even get on if you step on my shoes, you might end up hurt. Okay. Americans fight. We have fought and stood side by side, not just during the civil rights movement, but we fought for women. We joined the Caucasian females. We fought for the women. We have fought for the Rainbow Coalition. We have fought for people classified as Black, civil rights. We fought for everybody. And some people classified as Black Americans fought. Whenever the liberals say they have a right to stay here, they have a right to overstay their visa, they have a right to remain here, and they have a right to stay because they had children, because they worked jobs, because they paid taxes. It was people that looked like me that stood beside you. So what all I'm saying is we look at people who flee their country kind of with a side eye, because we're like, on one hand, we stood with you and we fought with you, but now the same government with whom you contracted that allowed you to stay here or come temporarily is telling you it's time to go back home, and you're fighting tooth and nail against going back home. But you didn't even stay there to fight. We're fighters. And the thing about so-called Black Americans and white Americans, when it comes down to the wire, a lot of us would stand side by side and fight for what we believe we should have here on these lands. So we don't understand people that came here, got resources, fled their countries, fled there, and they'll tell you, my nation, I got a place to go to. My country is wonderful. It's great. Here's my flag. I'm waving it. Here's my flag. I'm going to wave it on your lands. I'm going to tell your president he's a king. He's a dictator. He can't send me back home. We work harder than you Americans. We're looking at people that come to America to get all these welfare and government benefits and government jobs and student visas and tourism visas and overstay their visas and buying all this land. And while we're struggling, we're looking like, wait a minute. People came here and lived a good life, but you fled your country. I don't think Americans like really, really respect the fleeing, because we're fighters. That was an aside. I don't know. That just came out. We're fighters. The good news, though, excuse me for getting off on that. I don't want to offend anybody. The good news is that now that the government here, the United States Incorporated, that contracted with other people and allowed them to come over here and use, have benefits and buy land and buy, establish their businesses and all that, that government is being taken down. But it's not only being taken down here. When they put their puppet masters in other places and made agreements, they knew that all their times would be up, and their puppet masters are being taken down now. And who's been put in place in all these different seats all across the globe is no longer politicians, people from certain bloodline families. Now what you have being put in place are people that have an economic background, an entrepreneurial background, a financial background, because these are the people that will establish and create and implement economic and financial policies that will make sure that all countries are on a level playing field when it comes to trade, taxation, entrepreneurship, doing business, international business, all that. And when it comes to revaluing the currencies. Come on here. So let's go back to President Trump. No, let's go all the way back to Clinton. When the military went to Bill Clinton and said, we need you to sign Nassar and Jassar into law, he refused, like all of the presidents that preceded him, because they wanted to keep us in perpetual slavery. They forced him to sign it. Legend has it. He signed a law that says all loans have to be forgiven. All loans must be canceled. All bank loans, student loans, mortgages, credit card, they must go away. He signed it into law, allegedly. The United States Incorporated has to be dismantled. The military forced them to do that because they were in control. That announcement, and we were all supposed to get tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, all of us in America and across the globe. But here in America, he had to sign it. They forced him to sign it, and that announcement was supposed to come from the Pentagon on 9/11. 9/11, Those two numbers together are high vibrational. The 9 is very, very powerful. It is the end of one thing and the beginning of something new. The end of corruption, the beginning of freedom. Somebody put freedom now in the comment section. Hashtag freedom now. 9, the end of something, the beginning of something else. The end of enslavement, the beginning of freedom. 11, a portal, a doorway, a master number, a high vibrational number, a doorway. Out with the old, in with the new. 9/11, September, y'all know, or somebody said I should say it opposite, 119. What is it? 9/11, 119, yeah. The announcement was supposed to come from the Pentagon that we were supposed to be free here in America, but instead they took the gold out of the Pentagon that was supposed to be used to offset all the debt and to put money back, wealth back into our hands, and to help we the people here. That was taken out of the world towers, trade, what they call world trade, world towers. Then they imploded it. The message, so the money, the gold was stored there, but the announcement was supposed to come from the Pentagon. And then they had some catastrophe to happen there on that day. Well, now we are in the 25th year, 25th anniversary year, commemorating what happened. We were supposed to be freed then, but we weren't. Then President Trump came, and now we're being liberated. The first thing he did in 2025 was to create a sovereign wealth fund. That fund, again, is comprised of stocks, bonds, real estate, oil, rare earth minerals, wealth and money from tariffs and taxes, internet money from international trade. All that is in a fund or a trust that's supposed to be released to help we the people here in America. And he said, President Trump said, we have to create a sovereign wealth fund because other nations have one, and we need to do the same for America. So I looked up sovereign wealth fund. I did report on it when he first created it. It's a state-owned investment pool funded by a government's surplus reserves. What surplus reserves? All the ones I mentioned. Remember, it wasn't long ago, it was a couple years ago. Was it 2.34, was it metric tons of rare earth minerals were discovered? 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth bearing minerals have been discovered in Halleck Creek project near Wheatland, Wyoming by American Rare Earths. This puts us ahead of every other nation. Historically, China dominated the global supply chain. China allegedly had the most amount of rare earth minerals, but now that was discovered, 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals. So wealth like that, surplus, is supposed to be utilized to help make America wealthy again. So let me get back to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. It's a pool funded by the government surplus reserves. These entities, such as Norway's government pension fund, global, or the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, invest globally across asset classes like real estate, stocks, and private equity. Governments establish sovereign wealth funds to achieve various macroeconomic goals. Stabilization funds insulate the national budget and economy from volatile commodity prices. And it goes on to talk about savings or future generation funds, invest revenues from non-renewable resources to secure wealth for generations, future generations, their posterity after the resources are depleted. You create a sovereign wealth fund or multiple trusts with revenues and rare earth minerals and precious metals and resources, not only for your generation, for future generations. So when people ask me, why are you so concerned about wealth, Dr. Pruitt? Why do you keep telling people they should accumulate wealth? And I say over and over, it's not just about you. It's not just about us and our generation. It's about your posterity. It's about future generations, not just your bloodline. Don't you want to accumulate wealth as much as you can, so that if these nefarious beings ever try to enslave the planet again, they won't be able to? Because your sovereign wealth fund, Your trust, you know, the trust that we're all talking about. Oh, there's a Saint Germain trust. They used to talk about that 10 years ago. Saint Germain trust, the King Solomon trust, the Rodriguez trust, the Ancient Dragon Society trust. All these trusts that are created, they're going to be injected to the global economy, and we're not going to be slaves anymore, because when those trusts are released after they enslave or they arrest these people that were in power, we're all going to be wealthy. It's interesting how we don't mind taking money from somebody else's trust fund. We don't mind taking money from somebody else's family or bloodline that's been accumulating wealth for thousands of years. But we don't want to do it to liberate humanity. I'm not talking to you per se. I'm just saying. So why are you so concerned about wealth? Because yes, I'm going to pass down something for my grandchildren, my children, my posterity, meaning my future generations, but I'm going to do the best I can to accumulate wealth and establish them in trust so that humanity will always have something. I love humanity, and many of you too, you do as well. And that's why we talk about humanitarian projects. So President Trump said, I'm going to create a sovereign wealth fund. Follow me here. And that money will be released. All other nations have a sovereign wealth fund. So you have President Trump creating a sovereign wealth fund, but at the same time, he shut down the government. He created the sovereign wealth fund in 2025, and then he shut down the government, and people lost their jobs. Now everybody's like, wait a minute, Pruitt. Wait a minute, you futuristic hopianism people. If we have a sovereign wealth fund and we got all these resources, gold all around the Grand Canyon, and gold in the around the Colorado River, and gold at Fort Knox, which, by the way, the reason President Trump asked for an inventory of what's going on with the gold in Fort Knox and the gold in the Grand Canyon is because that gold is going to be used to offset the debt, and it's going to be used for our betterment, for humanity. So the governments are being shut down and people are losing their jobs. At the same time, President Trump created a sovereign wealth fund. But many people are saying they're concerned, they're worried, they've lost their government jobs. Other people are losing their jobs. 2025 was horrible. Tens of thousands of people, some say hundreds of thousands of people lost their jobs because the government shut down. We're only under a partial government shutdown now, but that's still a shutdown nonetheless. It opened just enough to handle the residual business right before the total collapse of the government. Meanwhile, you have AI, or artificial intelligence, taking over jobs. So people are concerned, what are we going to do? AI is taking over jobs, people losing government jobs, corporations are collapsing. You had a couple banks that collapsed over the last 5 years, major banks. So the economy is in flux. What are we going to do? I'll tell you. The economy is only temporarily in flux. As AI or artificial intelligence take over jobs, and you know they're doing it rapidly and it's speeding up, we're going to have a surplus of wealth. We're going to have a surplus of goods and products. Because AI will be able to automatically produce a lot more, way more than humans can. But people are concerned, if AI is taking over and nobody has a job, then what, Pruitt? Then what, economists? Well, of course, we have a remedy. We're going to do what other oil-rich nations do because we're wealthy. You know what AI is going to do? AI is going to produce a surplus and abundance of wealth, an abundance of goods, an abundance of technology, and that's going to make the nation extremely wealthy. I'll show you an article that supports my claim. Meanwhile, people will not be working. So some people think that's going to make people lazy. No, that's going to cause ingenuity, because now you're not a slave. You're not working every day to build up somebody else's empire. Now you'll be able to use your ingenuity and your mind to create a business, to create art, to create whatever it is you came here to create. How do you know that, Pruitt? Because it already happens in some other nations. Other nations give people what's called universal high income. It's not termed universal high income, but it's an allotment of money that's given to all of the people of that nation because the nation is wealthy and they share the wealth. So they have income that they give each of their people already. The people don't just sleep all day in these oil rich nations. I'm going to show you they don't. They produce and they live luxurious lifestyles. So all these governments that have wealth, like oil rich nations, they give their people money and they give them free health care, free education. And if they work on top of getting this allotment of money, it's not taxed. But a lot of us just don't know it because it hasn't been our reality. But I'm telling you, it happens. So I looked it up. Which countries give their citizens money or benefits because their nations are rich? There are few resource rich nations and regions that distribute direct cash dividends or provide extraordinarily generous tax free benefits to their citizens, really to their nationals, specifically because of the territory's vast natural resource wealth. We have a place that's owned by the United States, a territory of the United States. Alaska has what's considered similar to a universal high income. They have an Alaska Permanent Fund, utilizes oil and mineral revenues to pay each person there, each citizen, an annual check. It's known as the Paramount Fund dividend, which ranges from $1,000 to $2,000 per person, depending on fund performance. Then you have Qatar. I always talk about Qatar. Powered by massive natural gas revenues, citizens there, but you have to be a national of Qatar. You can't just, be living there as a visitor. You can't be somebody that's an immigrant or a migrant. No, only the nationals. They get the benefits. They pay no personal income tax and receive highly subsidized or free electricity, water, healthcare, and education, allowing them to retain their full earnings. Kuwait, the government provides extensive subsidies, guaranteed employment for citizens in the public sector, and the distinct direct financial grants or stipends derived from national petroleum wealth. The wealth of the nation goes to the nationals. When you read other articles, it would tell you have to be from those lands to get those resources. Everybody else can work for the people. Macau, a special administrative region of China, uses its casino and gaming tax revenues to fund the wealth partaking scheme. That's the name of it. An annual cash dividend distributed to all permanent and non-permanent residents here. Norway, rather than sending direct cash to their citizens, what Norway does is they channel their massive North Sea oil revenues into the government pension fund, which is one of the world's largest sovereign wealth funds. Remember I said universal high income. When I reported on this about universal high income, I said they're saying it would come from governments. I'm saying it's going to come from sovereign wealth funds, just like Norway. Now we have an example or a template. Norway's money comes from one of the largest sovereign wealth funds on the planet. You don't see a bunch of Norwegians running to America to steal wealth from Americans because they have a sovereign wealth fund that they can have access to. We Americans haven't had a sovereign wealth fund. We have resources, but the government was hoarding those resources, cutting them off, putting fences around all these lands, stealing lands from the indigenous so-called African-American Black people and selling it to other people. But really it was just a lease because you can't sell what isn't yours. Come on, Pruitt. So there are already sovereign wealth funds. And from the sovereign wealth fund, people will be given dividends, even here in America. These other countries are just templates. Let me show you. This NESARA benefits or money that we're all going to get is going to happen because people are losing their jobs, their government jobs. But more importantly, with AI taking over the jobs, we're going to have a surplus or abundance of wealth, goods, services. That's why I wanted to talk about universal high income today. Excuse me. Universal high income is not the same thing as universal basic income. Universal basic income was an allotment of money that came from the government that people can apply for even to this day. And I did a report on that where I showed you a website that had many different universal basic income programs on it from all over America. So, universal basic income was an allotment of money that comes from the government to take care of or offset or supplement your basic living needs. Universal basic income is just a little a small allotment of money that supplements your basic living needs like housing, food, clothes, those type of things. But universal high income is what economists call what we're going to have. They're hypothesizing this is happening. I'm telling you, it is going to happen because it's a part of the Nasara and Jassara law or act that was signed into law. It will happen and it can happen and it will succeed, just like other places do the same thing, but the monies come from the sovereign wealth fund. Whether it comes from your trust that's attached to your birth certificate bond and is offset by or supplemented by the sovereign wealth fund, to me, that's apples and oranges. It doesn't matter. You're going to get it. Other nations already do it, and this is going to be successful. Universal high income is a hypothetical economic framework that's championed by figures like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is just a figure. He's just a character on the world stage like everybody else. He's not the only one. He championed it because that's the one everybody know about. But economists, remember I studied economics. Say the same thing. Even Jim Rickards, who is an entrepreneur, financier, said that there is he said there's a secret trust. He said this a year or two ago. We reported this in our private group. There's a secret trust fund that President Trump will release at a specific given time that's going to make every American rich. We reported that in our private group because we knew this was in alignment with the Nasara Jassara law and an alignment with the whole plan for the ancestors that have returned and for the Galactic Federation, the benevolent ones. And it's another part of the plan that the military, they've all been working together to free humanity. Somebody put freedom now in the comments section. The more you say it, the more you'll live it, and the faster we'll get things rolling. Freedom now. We command it to be so because we have the power and authority to do so. Universal high income is something that's hypothesized. You know how they try to tell you, oh, it's hypothesized. Oh, it's a theory. But why would they even put it out there if they didn't want you to know it's so? This proposed rapid advancements in AI, artificial intelligence, and robotics. So AI and robotics will create post-scarcity abundance. Remember, we lived in a reality of scarcity where there just wasn't enough land, wasn't enough resources. You can only have 1.2 children. First, they told us 2.5 when I was in college. You can only have 2.5 children. There's not enough land to feed everybody. Oh, it's back at that point, it was 7 billion people on the planet. Now it's beyond 8 billion people. Gosh, I was in college just 30 years ago. 35 years ago. We had 7 billion people on the planet. Now it's over 8 billion, approaching 9 billion on the planet. So they said we had too many people on the planet. Remember that? Remember Bill Gates was saying we have too many people on the planet. We don't have enough resources. So we got the way to remedy this situation is depopulation through the shots, Remember he said that? Bill Gates and all these people. But we have resources. They lied to us. And they told us when I was in college, you can only have 2.5 kids. I was like, what's 2.5 children? How do you do that? I was like, wait a minute. The math is not mathing. Like I took math, but I know that, What am I supposed to do? Have three children and cut one in half? Like I was like 2.5. How does anybody have 2.5? I know what they were saying on average. Now they're telling, when my children were in school, they were like 1.2. Not nobody. People aren't having children. Some people aren't having any children because they fed us a lie saying we have too many people and not enough resources. Okay, since you say we don't have enough resources, we're going to employ AI, artificial intelligence, and robotics, and that's going to create a post-scarcity, abundant reality. You either have scarcity, where you have nothing and not enough, or you have abundance. Just like your mindset. You have a scarcity mentality, you'll do what people were telling me yesterday. It'll never happen. Nobody's going to give us wealth. It will never be free. That's a scarcity mentality. It can't happen. It won't. It's not enough. And if you keep saying it over and over, you won't have enough. You won't experience it. You can literally choose to be poor and choose to live and reside in 3D. Or you can time jump with the rest of us. Instead of having a scarcity mentality, we're going to have an abundance mentality. And you know what? We're going to even help those that have an abundance. We're going to help those of us that have an abundance mentality. We're going to help those that have scarcity mentalities. We're going to inspire you and encourage you to do a massive, radical paradigm shift from scarcity to abundance. I'm going to keep telling you that we're all going to be free. We're all free. We're really free. We're free. We're abundant. Say it, mean it, feel it, think it, and it will happen. On another timeline, it's actually occurring. But some people choose to remain on a timeline where it's not occurring. Time jump. So AI and robotics will create post-scarcity abundance, allowing the government to provide. They keep saying citizens. It's not citizens. It's the nationals. Why do you think we're deporting so many people? It's not because the government is angry, the government is as racist or xenophobic. It's because the government that existed, the United States Incorporated, doesn't have any money. Countries all over the world have stopped trading with the USD, which causing the USD to collapse. Countries all over the world have dropped treasury bonds and refused to buy treasury bonds, which was money for the government, the United States Incorporated. They dropped the treasury bond when they don't want nothing to do with the United States debt anymore. The United States is broke. They can't pay their debts. Nobody's trading with, I shouldn't say nobody, but everybody's agreed not to trade with the United States dollar, but to use their own country's currency backed by precious metals to trade with their currency through their agreement called Project Sandman. The United States and government is insolvent. I told you about the report that was issued out by the United States Treasury Department that says the U.S. Incorporated is broke and insolvent, can't pay its debts. So the government ain't providing citizens nothing because that government doesn't exist. The nationals that are here on these lands, they will receive sovereign wealth fund from their resources. And the people that are going back home will receive benefits from their sovereign wealth funds. They'll receive abundance and resources from their sovereign wealth funds. But this is allow, according to this, the UHI allow governments to provide citizens with checks that cover a comfortable middle class or luxurious lifestyle rather than just basic necessities. Unlike universal basic income, which aims to provide a safety net for bare necessities, universal high income is predicated on the idea that machines and AI will generate massive productivity gains. I think I hear my grandbabies. Let me know what you think in the comments section. That's the grandbabies. Debt slave. Their money was debt notes. With all due respect, we're not asking, we're telling them, if not, the whole world fails. We are the world. It was written, we're just the messengers. Ooh, what are you talking about, Ty? Ty said it's over. He strongly urged Bill Clinton to recirculate billions into the E-code. You guys are talking to each other. You took advantage of the banknote sale yesterday. That's great. And just like that, you purchased over $50 of Venezuelan bolivars, some Iraqi dinars, along with some Zimbabwe zimbans, and both your daughter and brother invested as well. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's awesome. One second, family. Sorry, I want to order lunch. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you all think about this. The U.S. debt clock made a post on Telegram. Hi, Jeffrey. Credit unions are part of the wealth transfer. Woo! Thank you for sharing that. Emotions are not emotional. Yeah, it's happening, family. It universal high income very much could work because it's working in other nations. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you what I discovered because I looked it up, but I was like, no, I knew about Qatar and I had looked it up a long time ago. I was like, I need to see what's posted now. So I asked, what I asked of all nations, which country give persons an allotment of money? Oh, I just asked which countries give an allotment of money, and this is what AI came up with. No country currently offers a true nationwide universal basic income. However, select nations, territories, and provinces distribute regular, unconditional cash dividends to their residents, often derived from their sovereign wealth funds. Did not I say? And have not I been saying universal high income and allotment of money will be given to everybody here in America because of the surplus of wealth that we have, and the wealth would come from the sovereign wealth funds. I'm not arguing that the wealth won't come from our trust because we all that were born in hospitals have a birth certificate, and those birth certificates were monetized, securitized, traded on stock markets, they accrued interest, and they were put in a trust. Those trusts were supposed to be for us to use for our living expenses. But the nefarious people in power said, no, we're going to hold the trust for ourselves and we're going to keep circulating their birth certificate bonds. We're going to assess the value to them based on their bloodline, who they are, and how much money we think that they're going to generate based on the education they have, whatever they come up with. They kept trading our birth certificate, making all this, wealth, this money with interest. It was supposed to offset our living expenses. But what they do again, I said, whenever you take out a loan or I take out a loan, they have a sign, a note. They go into our trust that's attached to our birth certificate bond, take that money, pay themselves, unbeknownst to us, and then tell you and me we got to pay them back with interest rates. That money, some people call it your Treasury Direct account, will come back to you all. Additionally, you will have access to the sovereign wealth fund, but you have to be part of that nation. Now, we had like Guyana, they were giving their nationals some money a couple years ago. But what they say, you had to be from Guyana, you had to be a Guyana national, and you had to be there present to receive what they were giving them. This was an experiment to see what will happen later on once they started giving the nationals an abundance of money. You had states in America that was doing this. There was a city in California, a mayor who was classified as like a Black American, who was a mayor of a city. I think, I don't know if it was Richmond or what it was right outside of Sacramento. He was giving all his residents a certain amount of money. These were, they were considered universal basic income back then. They were experiments to see how people would do when they got an allotment of money. Well, this money, some of this money is going to come from your trust that's attached to your birth certificate fund, but it would always also come from the sovereign wealth fund. You see here, they even say it, universal basic, there's no universal basic income that all nations do, no true nationwide one that we even do in America. But we showed you that there are certain countries, they don't have universal basic income, but they give them large amounts of money, like Alaska. However, select nations, territories, and provinces distribute regular unconditional cash dividends to their residents, often derived from the sovereign wealth fund or resource revenues. Here again, specific places they announce: Alaska in the USA invests a portion of the state's mineral and oil revenues. Each person receives $1,000. The other one we read said $1,000, $2,000 per person. This one says $1,000 to $3,200. So if you give up, and this was just now, imagine once all the wealth is released, it's going to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. And that's aside from the money the wealth you're going to accumulate if you've bought into stocks, if you bought bonds that you will redeem with United States Treasury Department. So people say, where's the ZIM going to be exchanged? The ZIM is a bond that will be redeemed by the United States Treasury Department. Bonds are redeemed with the United States Treasury Department. Now, the wealth management centers where you all will go to exchange your currencies, if you've bought foreign currencies, may have a representative from the United States Treasury Department in the wealth management centers to help you redeem your ZIM bonds and other bonds you may have. But you redeem bonds with the United States Treasury Department. United States Treasury Department is the department that deals with wealth, money, finances, and all that. That United States Treasury is part of our republic, okay? So if you have ZIM bonds and you have foreign currencies, other bonds, stocks, real estate, precious metals, that's your wealth for you, your posterity, your humanitarian projects, whatever projects you desire. But on top of that, you're going to get money from the sovereign wealth fund. This is what Jassara was all about. Every person on the planet will get hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some people say up to $20 million into your own individual account. And it's going to be put into a non-interest bearing account. So say Dr. Kia Pruitt. And you can do some research to support my claim. Make sure you know how to manage your wealth, because those funds are going into a non-interest bearing account. I mean, it's not going to accrue interest, not going to make more money. So you need to learn how to manage the money. That's where my book is going to be so important. You'll see it. We'll talk about that a little later. It should be coming out this month. It's with the publisher, going through his last edits. And I just asked my best friend, Joe Goodman, to write a portion of that, write something for my book, and then we'll be done. But it talks about how to manage money and how to teach family governance, so your family can know how to protect the wealth that you're all going to have. We're all going to be wealthy. Iran has something. To offset the removal of heavy price subsidies on food and fuel, the government implemented a national cash transfer program. Every Iranian citizen is eligible to receive a fixed monthly cash allotment from the country's resource wealth. Remember President Trump, when he created the Sovereign Wealth Fund? You need to watch my video of Trump creates the Sovereign Wealth Fund. I did it January 2025. He said all other nations, or most other nations, have a Sovereign Wealth Fund. So I have to do this for Americans, so I can make America wealthy again. And we talked about Macau. They have a government and that annually distributes wealth to its permanent and non-permanent residents. Payouts exceed $1,200 for permanent residents, funded largely by the territory's massive gaming and tourism revenues. Norway does the same thing. That's similar. They don't provide direct checks to everybody, but they deposit immense petroleum wealth into the government pension fund. Government Pension Fund Global is what it's called. The fund pays for universal health care, education, and pensions, acting as an indirect societal dividend that benefits all of their people there. Remember, I said there are nations that have free health care, free education, good pensions, and some of them have on top of that money deposited into their account. Why can't it happen here? It even happens in Alaska. I remember when they were recruiting people to go to Alaska. That's like, if you go to Alaska, you get all this extra money into your account. We didn't know why. We thought maybe they was just paying people because it's cold. We didn't know, and they would even give money for people there because they had if they created a business. What do you all think about this? Because I've talked enough. It can happen. And it will be very successful. Look up Qatar. I had to look up Qatar. I said, because I remember hearing about Qatar. Actually, I researched Qatar. Qatar is an oil-rich nation. And I asked AI, do people in Qatar live a luxurious lifestyle? Because, they get money from their sovereign wealth fund. Many Qatari citizens and wealthy expatriates live a highly luxurious lifestyle defined by immense wealth, tax-free incomes, and state-of-the-art infrastructure. However, Qatar is also characterized by deep economic inequality, as a large migrant working class experience a completely different standard of living. Like I told you, the migrants that go to Qatar, they don't get the wealth because they're not Qatar nationals. They can work for Qatarians. I don't know what you call Qatar people, but you don't get to have the wealth from the people on the land. Qatar wealth is for Qatarians, whatever you call them. Just like the American dream is supposed to be for Americans, not foreign nationals that come to America and get access to our trust and get social security numbers and get welfare, food stamps, benefits, non-interest bearing loans, free education, free healthcare. That's supposed to be for Americans. But the good news is when they go back home, they can have the same, and they will. Do people in Qatar live a luxurious lifestyle?
Yes, many people in Qatar, especially citizens and wealthy expats, enjoy a very luxurious lifestyle. This is due to Qatar being a very rich country, with benefits like a strong welfare system, no income tax, cheap healthcare, and government help with housing.
The same is going to happen in America and nations all over the world. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Can anybody see your comments? What did you say? This is an exciting time to be alive, family. It's going to happen. It can happen because it will happen, and it's already happening in some nations. But this will happen. Greetings to the gods and goddesses. Hello, Lando Sue. Again, right now it's a theory. Hi, LaMonica. That we will have universal high income, but so is Nasara and Jasara theories. But why are they talking about these theories? They won't call it Nasara and Jasara, but they're saying that they term it or call it universal high income. And they're saying the reason why we have to have this is because I remember the Jetsons movie. I was born in 68. Some of you were born in the 60s. Or maybe a little earlier, maybe just a little after. You might remember the Jetsons. That movie is supposed to come out this year by the Warner Brothers. Why? This is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and it's supposed to be like the 250th birthday of America. This is supposed to be a huge celebration this year. 250. And it's the 25th year anniversary of what happened. 119. I'm saying it backwards. Why are they talking about the movie Jetsons? Because then robots was running everything and mass producing things, which meant people were living very wealthy. And since they had an influx of massive wealth, the economy was good. They had flying cars. Remember Trump when he's in his first terminology said, was it not his first term? I think it might have been under Biden's administration, President Trump was saying, we're going to have freedom cities and flying cars. All that's coming out because we're about to live in that time period where we're actually going to have robots and artificial intelligence to create an abundance of wealth during this 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration, America's 250th so-called birthday. And I think they must like that name 200, that number 250. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 is the number of completion. Because what just happened on yesterday was President Trump celebrated a $250 billion Micron investment. He says America is getting shovels in the ground. CEO Sanjay Mehrotra, sounds like an Indian name to me, said the company is ahead of schedule and increasing its planned investment from $200 billion to $250 billion. What is this investment? President Trump touted on Friday Micron Technology. That's this company. It's a plan to invest $250 billion in U.S. semiconductor manufacturing. We're investing in manufacturing semiconductors, including what the company says will become the largest chip manufacturing site in American history. The Boise, Idaho-based company announced Thursday that it's accelerating its United States manufacturing and research investments with the goal of producing 40% of its DRAM memory chip in the United States. Bigger investments just keep a-coming, Trump wrote on his Truth Social, calling the announcement the Trump effect. What is the Trump effect? The Trump effect is his ability as a leader and an economist. He has a degree in business and economics to attract wealth because he knows how to invest, secure deals. He is the great negotiator to broker deals, to ensure that all nations are on a level playing field. Watch my video I did 2 days ago on how President Trump implemented his plan to make sure every nation is on a level playing field and revalue their currencies. I just did that video a couple of days ago. He has the Trump effect to attract investors, to negotiate deals, to bring in revenue, and to make America wealthy again. Micron is accelerating its United States spending to a massive $250 billion to build memory chips right here in the great United States of America. No more sourcing out what we can do right here for ourselves. All those people that say, we work harder than y'all, we do better than y'all, we create businesses, we need an H-1B visa, is what this Indian representative said to Secretary of State Marco Rubio when he said we have a massive migratory issue. We gotta remedy this issue by sending people back home so we can take care of America. And this one lady stood up, she said, we're Indians. We have a deal with America. We contributed to this economy. What do you mean our H-1B visas are soon to be up? Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, look, I'm a son of Cuban immigrants. I know what it means to be an immigrant. I hear you. I know what you're saying. We contribute to the society too. But the truth of the matter is, we got an issue here where we had too many people coming and too many people overstaying their visas. And some of you that were recruited here was not recruited lawfully. So you got to go back home. So all the people that was here saying, we, and everybody doesn't do that, but you know, there's a few. We came to America. We work harder than y'all. We contribute to the economy. We pay our taxes. We have our businesses. We're not going anywhere. Guess what President Trump is saying? I got the Trump effect. I'm attracting American workers to come back and American entrepreneurs to be innovative and create what we can create for ourselves. We don't need chips coming from China. I don't know if you knew it, but about 3 or 4 years ago, the car industry, they were acting horrible. These cars were going at 2 times what they were worth. And their excuse was, well, you know, this car that should be 10,000, about 15 to 20,000, because there's a little microchip that we need for the car that's not manufactured here in America that only comes from China. And since it comes from China, and China and America are going through trade wars, that was before Trump secured and brokered the biggest trade deal between America and China in history, before he did that last year. Since We only get that from China, and we going through these issues with China, and we can't really get a hold to those little chips in the car. We have to inflate the prices. Trump said no more. I got the Trump effect. This $250 billion company that or money that we're using to build memory chips is going to happen right here in the great United States of America. For years, the do-nothing Democrats, Trump said, bogged down American industry with crushing red tape, complete economic mismanagement, and ridiculous woke mandates. Like saying, if a company wanted to be in America and they wanted to manufacture stuff for us, they had to side with Black Lives Matter and fund money to Black Lives Matter and Antifa. That's what the woke Democrats, according to Trump, the Trump administration would do. Or if you wanted to be an American-based company here, you had to go through a whole lot of red tape, a whole lot of bureaucracy, and sign all this paperwork, and all, getting a bunch of no's because the United States Incorporated was trying to suppress enterprising minds and entrepreneurship from Americans. Meanwhile, they were allowing everybody else to come in through these visas. I've told you there's 5.3 million East Indians here from Asia. 90,000 of Indians come here per year on an H-1B visa to create businesses, to run business, or to work in finance, engineering, medicine, and architect. And then you have billions coming in to work in the service industry, Amazon, and factory jobs. Now, Americans just can't find jobs, a lot of them. Their children can't, their college students can't. The teenagers that used to work, they'd be able to, subsidize household income or take care of their own needs and desires. They can't even find work because service industry jobs are taken over by those that came over here with H-1B visas. 90,000 per year, plus their I'll put this in the description section for you. Plus their spouses are recruited. That's another 90,000 per year on H-1B visas alone from India and or China. We don't even know about the others. And then you got 400,000 H-1B visas that are renewed every year. That's just one visa. What about the humanitarian visas? Those that were on humanitarian visa that were here? What about the F1 visas, the international student visas that will come over here to maybe study for 4 years or maybe just study English? Yeah, you might have somebody say, I'm going to study English over there in America. America welcomes you. You still learn English. And they were like, as long as I sign the I-20 form, I can stay into perpetuity forever. Study English, then get an associate's degree, a 2-year degree, then study a 4-year degree, get an undergrad degree, then get a master's, then get a second master's, maybe even get a second bachelor's, maybe even get a law degree, because you can get a law degree even as an undocumented student here. Maybe you might be like, you know what, I want to go into medicine today. And you keep getting certificates and degrees and diplomas and licenses because somebody's always willing to take their money or take your money as an American because, of course, we were paying the debt if they were getting free education. So they say you can't hate the player, hate the game. The game was that they would come here on a student visa and never leave. They would come over on a tourism visa and never leave. They would come here on an H-1B visa and never leave by the tens of thousands. We won't even talk about the fake medical degrees, fake college degrees, fake licenses, fake health care certifications that hundreds of thousands, and some reports say millions of people from abroad were getting to come to America. It's not just the Indians, it's Caribbeans, Indians, Europeans, South Americans. I mean, people from all over the world, Africans. And most of them that came here weren't just seeking the opportunity because they were poor, they were hungry, no, most people that come here come with something. Why do you think President Trump saying he got to get rid of birthright citizenship? Because these were a lot of rich folk that were coming over here to have their babies so their children can be considered United States Americans so that they can then run government and run corporations on our lands, and the parents will get benefits as well. We're not just talking about work benefits. We're talking about food stamps, welfare, Section 8, Medicare, free health care, free education. You know, all those things are supposed to happen for Americans through a sovereign wealth fund, like it happens in Qatar, like it happens in Norway and some other nations that are wealthy. It was supposed to happen for us, but it happened for everybody else. The good news, though, is that now they can go home. They can use the energy that they got from here, all the beautiful, amazing skills they got here, all the degrees, the education, the experiences, even the swag they got from being here around Americans. Even hopefully they got some fight and some grunt in them so they can go back and they can use that energy to tell their own governments and command from their own governments what they must do for their own people. Because see, we don't flee. Most Americans don't run. We stand, we fight. And that's what we respect from all the other people. We respect people that have that grunt, that fight in them. They command their freedom, their liberation. They say, this is my country. I'm not going anywhere. That's what most Americans do. That's what we respect. But the good news is we know a lot of people came here. They overstayed their welcome. And I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say they overstayed their visa. But a lot of people overstayed their welcome. I don't know how much more. The government is saying, we're done. We can't afford you. You have to go home. The terms and conditions that you signed and agreed upon are over. But the good news is sovereign wealth funds will be created and released all over the world. I'm done. Thank you. Sister Janine said, Cash App, $ Mama Kia 13. She's telling you my Cash App. Thank you for all the gifts. Yeah, we were protecting lots of people. Botanica says, we kick SSA and chew bubblegum. That's how Americans roll. We really don't understand people that just run and leave their family behind. We can fathom that. Leaving, going all across the water and leave your mama, your daddy, your children to suck the resources off somebody else's land. Most Americans can't fathom that. Maybe because nobody reaches out to us and say, hey, we know that Black folks over there have been enslaved and prisoners of war for 400 years. We know y'all got crime, because people say, well, we got crime in our country, but so does America. Y'all don't know about it when you come from other places, because they tell you to stay away from Black folk and stay away from certain areas that's flooded with drugs. Did anybody call in any neighborhood, whether it's a rural white community or Black community or urban community, does any country ever call us and say, hey, come over here? You guys got war. The police like to beat up Black people and profile the Black men. Hey, they flood your community with drugs, gangs, and violence while they wear masks, pretend masks that look like Black men, but they're really Caucasian police or police from Venezuela or police from other foreign country, but they'll put on a Black mask so they can infiltrate the neighborhood and shoot up folk and blame it on Black folk. But hey, we know that's going on, Americans. Come over here. We'll give you some resources, free health care, free money. We'll give you education. We'll let you learn our language for free. And you can be a citizen of our country. And you can even vote, by golly. And you can march in the streets against our presidents and prime ministers and tell them, screw you. Our country, America's great. And fly your flag while you're at it, because we're going to support you and get right behind you. What country does that for us? What country cared when Hurricane Katrina ravaged through Louisiana and displaced thousands, tens of thousands of residents that look like me? And they had to go all over to Texas. And some of them came to Louisville, Kentucky, where I was. Some of them went all different places. They were displaced, still to this day, their homes aren't built up. Who cared about the so-called Black Americans? Who cares about what's happening in Chicago, where they're gunned down, people gunned down? And we found out it was police police was shooting up the residents there and blaming it on the Black men. Who cared? Who cared that Gary, Indiana was the crime capital of the whole country? Who cared? The government didn't care. Then other governments sure didn't care enough to send money, rescue, help, or anything else, or to recruit those people, these Americans, and say, come here. Nobody cared about America. Nobody, for darn sure, didn't care about Black Americans. No, not only did they not care, they took advantage of all the things that were given to them. They stayed in their little white picket fences and their gated communities, and they kept out people, and they kept build up all their property for their homies and their friends and their buddies on the beaches after we were pushed out of our lands and pushed out of prime properties, and then forced to get licenses to fish and hunt on our own lands. Who cared? What government cared? But you know what? We still fought with foreign nationals that came here. We still stood with them and said, you must be able to have opportunities. And the liberals to this day is still, in great part, fighting. And liberals voted against Trump. They were like, no, the immigrants should stay. Even though they're flooding our community with drugs and guns and taking over housing projects and rolling around in their Ferraris, and they got a whole motto called Ferraris and food stamps where they're taking over the resources in the well. No, we're going to fight for you guys. Nobody cared about us. Nobody. I can't think of one nation. I mean, now they're like, hey, you are the black people that's in the Bible. Hey, Jesus was black. Hey, the black people are the only true indigenous peoples of the Americas. We appreciate that now. I also can say I appreciate North Korea and Russia not doing business, though, not wanting to do business with the United States Incorporated, though they were forced to do so to some extent, because they knew who the real indigenous people, who the true Americans are, according to our bloodline. We have birthrights, blood rights to this land. Nobody seemed to care. In fact, when they came here, they were told to stay away from black folk. And what they call us dirty black Americans, lazy, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Remember all that rhetoric? Use that same energy to build up your country, is all people are saying. Trump said it probably more nicely, but we got a lot of disrespect. We got a lot of disrespect. A lot of disrespect. The good news is the sleeping giants have awakened. And everybody now knows that we are the people that the Constitution was talking about, because we wrote it. We are the true indigenous Americans, the Native Americans that were here, the $5 Indians, the Europeans, the Caucasians that paid $5 to put their names on the dog roll and say they're Indian. They've been found out just like the Native Americans. Now, all Native Americans didn't do that. And of course, all Europeans didn't. The ones that did knowingly got a rude awakening when President Trump said they don't look Indian to me and they don't look Indian to Indians, because they're not. And they don't get claims to birthright citizenship like nobody else whose children were born here, because the 14th Amendment, which the attorneys and the judges were using to allow foreign nationals to drop their babies off here and get benefits and be called citizens, was not for foreign nationals. It was for the children of African-American slaves after the Civil War. Every constitutional attorney knows that, and they know that these attorneys have intentionally misinterpreted the 14th Amendment. Well, all that's being overturned because the United States Incorporated is defunct, insolvent, doesn't exist, bankrupt, and it's going away. Their time is up. Their 400 years, however many years they had, it's over. It's up. It's done with. And now the indigenous people will have their time to run their own governments, their own corporations, their own business. And anybody that does business with us will have treaties with us. We already had treaties with people that came here. They just were not honored. But it's a new day. It's a new season. It's a new day. Somebody said Doc is in supreme form. Thank you, Ty. You said I'm gonna run. Doc is a lady, so she gonna run her fade. I'm gonna run my fade, but I'm gonna run it with facts and receipts. Absolutely, just like the Empress. Somebody says. Freedom now in the comment section, family. It is lunchtime for Dr. Kia Pruitt. My daughter just brought me some food. I am going to take a break and eat. We can come back a little later. But before we go, let me know what you think about the things I said. Thank you, baby. You're not on camera. Thank you. Thank you so much. We will all have a sovereign wealth fund. We already do. Every nation will have a sovereign wealth fund. America has a sovereign wealth fund that President Trump created in 2025. That fund is comprised again of rare earth minerals, uh, precious metals, land, oil. What else? Land, revenues from trades and tariffs, all type of things. And that sovereign wealth fund is for the people, humanitarian projects, the infrastructure here in America, and for other investments. Doc, remember when they took the white tea gloves off Mama meant business? Yes. Drinking some sweet tea. Yes. Freedom Now, family. Put Freedom Now or hashtag Freedom Now in the comments section. Freedom Now. Oh, you know what? I need to go too because my grandchildren are about to take a nap. I think they are. Y'all know I get very passionate when I speak, especially about my country. I love my country. I love humanity with all my heart and my soul. And I love America. America is a great nation. It is the land flowing with milk and honey. Some call her Turtle Island. Some call her the North Gate, Northwest Africa. I call her home. I love my great country. I love my nation. I love my people. And I love those who love us. So today we were talking about why giving each person universal high income could work. It could work because when AI takes over a lot of the jobs, we're going to have a plethora of wealth, an abundance of wealth. And we're returning to the gold standard. When you account for the gold standard, along with an abundance of wealth and the luxury that's going to be produced, the money, whatever currency we use, will go further. The gold standard allow us to have more buying power, more spending power, and the prices will come down. Even though we're going to have a luxurious, abundant lifestyle full of surplus with AI automating many things. We have a sovereign wealth fund in America. Other nations have sovereign wealth funds, and other nations already give their nationals benefits, like Qatar. So it not only can happen, it will happen. You want to see some sovereign wealth funds that exist already? And these sovereign wealth funds release benefits and money to their people or money to their people. Let's take a quick look. Norway, China, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Singapore, Indonesia, Qatar, Hong Kong. And for a full directory, you can click on here, Sovereign Wealth Fund Institute. And remember, we have one in Alaska. Family, I hope this message served you well and encouraged you and inspired you, because that's my job here today. Let me know in the chat what you think about this discussion.
So try rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a
We know about the Black nobility and the hidden hand. We've spoken on it many times. You can ask Chief Rod Hayes and Chief Mac about it. I see her, the Duke of Tears, the Great Sheik, the Grand Sheik. All of them have been here. Sheik Jacob Bey, expounding on the Black nobility. Maybe we'll do another video on that soon. All right, family. As somebody said in the comment section, the wealth of the wicked have been stored up for the righteous. That righteous is you and me. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I trust I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. My grandbabies are sleeping now, they're taking their rest. So I'm going to take a rest too. Big respect to you all. I love you so very much. I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm very, very grateful for you all being here. Thank you. Have a good day. We'll talk later. Bye. Go out and make this a great day.
Dr. Kia Pruitt, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations.
Thank you, family. Thank you, Sister Janine, for always being here supporting us and for loving me and encouraging the Soul Tribe for supporting me. I love you, Sister Janine. I love you, Soul Tribe. You mean so much to me. God bless America. Hey, Chief Mac. Yes, we were live talking about universal high income and how everybody's going to receive massive wealth. Chief, I'm getting ready to go, but if you'd like to say something before we go, you can. Just let us know. Chief always likes to support me, and I appreciate that. Basically, I was saying we're all going to be wealthy. Every nation has a universal, will give universal high income, and everybody has a sovereign wealth fund. Well, I sent you a link if you want to speak, Chief. I'm trying to remember. Yes.
Ancient and new, showing what we all can do.
Chief, did you get Sister Janine's text earlier? We see you in the chat. Hold on, family. Has entered the room. 1 second. Chief is in the house, family. He said he can say something. He can always say something to inspire the soul tribe. 1 minute. Welcome, Chief. Welcome, Chief.
Greetings, Soul Tribe. Greetings, Dr. Care. I was talking to a client of mine.
Uh-huh.
They called. She said, Dr. Care is live. I said, well, Herb, let me get off here. Let's get on there. Let me listen to what she got to say.
Oh, thank you,
I was
Chief.
I'm going to calling everybody and trying to
Yeah.
get to everybody, get them people shares and people trying to get that trust done because they feel like July is the month. But the universal, um,
High income. Universal high income.
we can't hear you, Kia.
Universal high income. Can you hear me?
But let me break down the universal high income.
Okay.
It's basically saying that everybody is basically going to get what belongs to them already in that estate. They just call it Nassar, universal high income. It's just that everybody that was born with a bond, which is your social security card or your birth certificate, is a bond that was created at birth. And for years, they have been taking from us what we should have been getting in the first place, because the whole world, we were born into a prepaid society.
Mm.
Everything was supposed to be paid for, and for so many years, we have been okay with robbing Peter to pay Paul, because they turned this world upside down and inside out. It's almost like mental illness. It's like somebody falling in love with the
Mm.
person who stole and took your virginity, and you're
Ooh.
protecting it and covering them. But that's what this beastism has done. It
Uh-huh.
has took what was rightfully ours. Like when I found out to authenticated my birth certificate with the state and federal, and became full faith and credit, and there's a number at the top that belongs to me that's in the system that's going to
Mhm.
cover a lot of benefits down the line. And we were told that everybody who have that number, we put a series of numbers in front of it, and we
Mhm.
Googled that, and we found out that these builders that's building apartment complex, building these communities of homes, they're not even using their own money. They're using our money in our state. And
Wow.
companies worldwide are sticking their hands into our estate and empower and enriching themselves, guys. And this is why you can look right now, you can see there's subdivisions all over America, and there are homes they just built all over. They're not putting it on the news. That are vacant. Why
Mm.
are they vacant? Because people say, oh, they ran out of money. No, they didn't run out of money because they never had the money. They ran out of the ability to steal and tap into our state. That's what's
Wow.
happening.
Wow.
So now
Wow.
it makes sense. They didn't run out of money. They just
Mm.
ran out of being able to steal and take from our state. So those that have foreign currency, gold or silver, what they're getting ready to do, all they're going to do is the quantum financial account. You have to have a trust in order to receive from your trust.
Mm.
Okay, and this is nothing new. This is what the rich and the wealthy know. We're just fortunate enough from you giving people a financial forecast on
Thank you.
getting gold, silver,
Yes.
foreign currency. And when we partnered together, I was able to help bridge the gaps, bridge those gaps, those
Mhm.
dots together for a lot of people, saying that it's coming from our state.
Right.
Everything is coming from them. So there have been people able to do that, to pull from the
Mm.
state. This is the same thing with whole life insurance.
Mm.
Whole life insurance is a trust. They're
Mm.
not telling us that.
Mm.
When you get life insurance, all that paperwork, it is a implied trust.
Mm.
So we
Mm.
found out that if you have a trust, that we make it a beneficiary, the, the whole life insurance, a beneficiary of that trust. And now you can pull from it. I wish we had known this stuff. And guys, I am going to bring on a insurance, a person that established and sells insurance. I've been knowing them basically all my life, people from my hometown. And we heard now in the talks, because you can make your whole life insurance a beneficiary of the trust, and after a year or so, you can pull from that estate. And that's how you become banks. That's a hack that we should have, if we had known this 30, 40 years ago,
Thank you.
50, when we were born here, our parents wouldn't have had to struggle.
Right.
And
Right.
all the other nation of people, they know this hack. They kept it from us as a whole. And some white folks didn't know this. But the most uninformed people in
Mm.
the entire world are the so-called black men and women in America.
Mm.
That's why we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom of finances. It's because we don't know enough.
Mm.
That's why they keep everything for us, and they inundate us with all kind of BS until we have self-hate amongst each other and ourselves.
Ourselves. Mm-hmm.
That we can't see, and we don't know about investing. You got black folks out there making good money. The ones that's making decent money, they had to turn and do some tricks to make that kind of money
Mm-hmm.
by joining organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And then, even though they make most of the so-called black men and women that's making over 6 figures a year are not investing their money. I know plenty of them in my family.
Mm.
They're gonna get them a big house, a nice car. They're gonna shop till they drop, and they're not
Yeah.
making any investments.
Come on, Chief.
I promise you, because I got them in my damn family.
Mm.
You in your 50s and to have a mortgage payment by itself that's $6,000 a month,
Ooh.
and the root word of mortgage means debt pledge.
Mm.
So that what they're saying is that that mortgage is going to outlive you.
Mm.
That's what it means. And the rich and wealthy would never get a mortgage because you're not going to tap into my estate. Because that's the whole purpose of why you get a mortgage, is for them to tap into your estate and get you to pay 100% interest because it's been paid for already. And this is a wicked world because your car that you bought been paid for already, the credit, that high-end line credit card you got been paid for already, your education has been paid for already, your insurance policies has been paid for already, your death
Mm.
insurance policy has been paid for already. Your job, they put from your state, put maybe $2 or $3 million out, set up an escrow account, and paying you out of your escrow account. Then they throw a hidden insurance on you. So if you croak, because they got to print out who's sick and who's not. And when you croak, the insurance company, your job is going to collect on you because they got a printout of who's sick, who got cancer, who got diabetes, who has all that. Your job, you're working for free because they're paying you out your own estate. This is hell.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And we got this information. That's why a lot of people nowadays don't even want to work a job right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you have to deal with too much to work a damn job. Don't be a star seed and be woke and have a overstanding. They don't want you there. You don't fit in with people like that.
Mm.
Robbing Perry to pay Paul, just over broke. Linear income. You'll never get rich when you trade time to get a wage. So I'm so happy. I appreciate you, Dr. Kia.
Yes, sir.
The Soul Tribe. We're waking up. I'm grateful to the Great Spirit and the ancestors that I have this knowledge. I'm not gatekeeping, and I have opened up a plethora of people, thousands of people's mindset, and to make a move to get out of hell and create that
Mm.
heaven on earth, because it was supposed to be here. So just thank you for bringing me up. I'm glad about that. Get your trust, get some foreign currency, gold and silver if you can afford it, and really soon they're going to hit that switch, and we're going to come together under one authority and unite and fight this beast system and being the savior and salvation of humanity, which we are.
Thank you, Chief. Sister Janine says in South Carolina, they have whole apartment complexes that they started building that are now empty. She said every day she goes past there and the equipment is still there. Everything's vacant. They start working, even the equipment is still there. The work has
But
stopped.
guess what? We're going to come in and we're going to get them.
Ooh, ooh, I got chills. Woo, glory, hallelujah. Woo.
Come on now. We're going to come in through our humanitarian projects, through our foundational trust. We're going to go in because the banks stole them. The banks got this. The banks have a portfolio of all of these homes and these subdivisions that are empty. All of these mansions that they were working on, they're empty. So we're going to come in and we're going to purchase all of that. You guys, it said wealth transfer. You guys are not getting it. You're not getting it. It said wealth, not middle class transfer. It said wealth transfer. So the wealth is going to transfer for people out there that are 100 millionaires, half billionaires, billionaires. There are people here on the Soul Tribe that are going to be billionaires. It said wealth transfer, and when the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous and the just. And then it said the meek shall inherit the earth, but the meek can't inherit the earth. Us, the meek, can't inherit the earth until the abundance is given to us. And if you haven't did the shadow work, got rid of the hate, envy, malice, and jealousy out your heart, If you mess around and get that kind of wealth, it doesn't belong. You are a fool, and
Mm.
wealth doesn't belong in people's
Ooh.
bank's account who haven't done the shadow work.
Mm.
It don't belong to you. And get it and see what happens to you.
Mm.
Because oil and water don't mix, and a fool and wealth don't mix. So if you hadn't done that
Mm.
shadow work and mess around and get some of this wealth, we're going to see how long you're going to be like a lottery winner. It
Mm.
don't
Lose
belong
it.
to you. Because you
Lose it
should be
all.
cleaning your heart and purging yourself now and learn how to mind your damn business instead of other folks' business.
Mm.
Stop putting your mouth on people, stop lying on people, and being easily gaslighted because the rich and wealthy don't operate like that.
Mm.
It's dangerous.
Mm.
I'm ready to be a billionaire.
Me too.
I've done this. I've done this shadow work. And I ain't mad at no damn about this damn business but mine. And I'm loved and I'm happy with myself and I like where I'm going and I like who I am. And everybody that had put their mouth on people like us, the righteous, you are going to pay for it. But right before you pay for it, you're going to watch us rise up from the top while you're looking up at us. And we don't have to look down at you. We
Mm.
don't have to come down to your level. We're gonna be saying glory, hallelujah. You see why I'm saying glory, hallelujah. It's a beautiful time to be alive when you are connected to the right people and that source with it. That's why I've been saying it for 3 years, because I have been manifesting. I've seen what was getting ready to happen. I just trust the process
Mm. Mm.
and kept
That's the
speaking in my
process.
life and speaking into others people's life who are deserving of it.
Come on, Chief. Mm.
We ain't got time to be playing games, man. We ain't fighting against flesh and blood, man. And you don't know what you think you know if you fight against your own flesh and blood when there are principalities out here and wickedness and skin suits and creatures that's eating flesh, drinking
Mm.
blood, and got deceive people and religious to do the same thing, drink blood and eat flesh,
Yeah, they
and
do.
sit in their ass waiting on the damn Savior when you can get your ass up and be your own Savior and salvation,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
and think that you got to transition to have these many mansions. So that you won't speak it into existence right now because you're expecting to lose the ghost to get this overflow. We got work to do. Soul Tribe.
Chief, you and I were talking earlier, and you were saying that some people are saying and they could feel that this is coming very, very soon. Like the wealth transfer is happening very, very soon. Can you speak on that? Like, what are you hearing? What are you feeling?
So the people and the clients and people that I've been talking to so far, and I love it, kid, because people like us who have a huge platform and we hear from a lot of different people,
Mm-hmm.
we can truly give a forecast on what's happening. So I'm grateful that people are grateful for me and you because
Mm.
we're able to gauge what's truly happening with the people in terms of how they think.
Mm-hmm.
And within the past week, since July, most everybody, the clients and people and existing clients that I've had, they're different. They're saying things different. They said, Chief, I can feel it, man.
Mm.
Every last one
Wow.
of them I talked to, there are maybe a few that are just kind of discouraged, but
Mm-hmm.
80% of the people that I'm talking to, they say, Chief, I feel it.
Mm.
I need to get my trust established because I'm listening to you. You say it's not a promise that you're going to be around when this thing happens. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do to get it now. Most of them said, I feel it. They said they not because the lessons that I've been teaching, you've been teaching, people can pay attention to these staged events that's happened. They're reading.
Mm-hmm.
They can do it now on their own. They said that something happened in China last week, Venezuela, 3 earthquakes, and they giving you threes,
Mm.
numerology.
Mm.
You know, then you just laid out that Mr. T says a possibility of them trying to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And I said that about a month or so ago. They talk about Golden Gate Bridge, the Statue of Liberty, so-called alien invasions, and uh, tornadoes and earthquakes. This is chaos.
Mm.
And one more major thing is going to happen. And when it happens, we are going to rejoice. The Soul Tribe are going to rejoice because we know that this beast system has the ability to scare people up with fake events, staged events in the form of psychological warfare for social
Mm-hmm.
engineering. We
Mm.
are we are up. We're not going to let anybody pull on our heartstrings because that's how they feed off of our fears.
So, let me ask you, Chief. These so-called false flag events, whatever these events they're talking about doing, like they might take out President Trump's life, take his life out, or try to. They're talking about getting rid of the Statue of Liberty. How would this transition into the release of massive wealth? Do we have any idea?
This is
What?
something that
Go ahead.
they have always done this.
Okay.
For those that may be new here, if you go, I think I did. I've done that clip with you, and I've done it on my podcast on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
when I broke down. I'm gonna say it backwards. 119.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing was a psyop. We know that now, don't we, Kia?
Absolutely.
When the
Absolutely.
people were walking like they were dazed and looking like that, but they had dust all over them. Those were those were crisis actors, wasn't they?
Mm-hmm. We know now. Yes, sir.
And now we understand the whole reason why they had to create that movie theater. That they had to do that. They had to stage that for what reason?
You.
Because
Yeah.
it's still $270 billion of whose money? Whose wealth?
Mm,
The
come on.
indigenous so-called people, the black men and women, not the African,
Mm,
the so-called black men and women, the monies, the wealth of America
thank-
belongs to us. We can't hear you, Kill. Speak.
I was saying thank you.
Yeah. The wealth of America belong to the people who think they are Africans or came here on ships. He didn't say that the wealth belonged to the Africans. He said to the so-called black men and women, they took $270 billion was stolen from you guys. So they had to, in order to do that, they needed to come up with something like 119 in order to
Mm,
divert our attention. Because I can
mm,
remember 25 years ago where I was in 2001. I was petrified. I was scared. I was
yeah,
frozen.
yeah.
I was despair. I was in despair. I was hopeless.
Mm,
But never again, Soul Tribe. Never again, Kia.
never again. Never again.
Never again. Never again. And because we have that, we are going to be multi-millionaires. There's going to be new novice people being wealthy. And we have to make sure we have our affairs in order. Operating in trust, eventually moving to the private sector, working on your heart, your spirit man, your spirit woman, getting the hate, envy, malice, and jealousy out your heart, learning to mind your business. And if you're really about it, you know that you have to stay in order to protect those who are attached to you in the righteous way.
Mm. Chief, how did you know or come to know that the government or whoever somebody stole 270 billion from the indigenous so-called African Americans? Like I
Well,
never. Okay.
that was a gentleman that I played, this white guy, which he's not no
Mhm.
longer with us anymore.
Okay.
Preferably because he exposed that.
Oh
That
my
was really,
God.
really deep information. And which I played it, and I'll keep on reinforcing. I'll play it tonight. I'm possibly planning on going live tonight because some other things hit my spirit I want to talk about. But I'm going to keep
Mm.
on reinforcing that gentleman who said the reason why they, and I broke it down even
Mm.
further,
I
saying that
gotta see that.
it's impossible for a building to fall straight down like that unless it's controlled demolition.
Mm.
It's impossible. Fire, no type of gasoline or fire mixture can burn metal steel. It can happen. But
Mm.
I know that the only thing that can burn through steel like that, is thermite. And thermite is something that only the military and industrial complex got access to.
Mm.
Only. And you heard boom, 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 boom. The
Mm-hmm.
bombs going off. They collapsed the building from underneath so it can fall straight down. And they did all of that to divert people's attention. And then the very next day, a building collapsed that didn't even get hit by a plane. So this, if you know what to look at, you know that this beast system is wicked. And then the wars that they give us are not real. Those are crisis actors. I just showed you a good receipt of that on my page, showing you that they dabbing people up with fake blood. They put makeup on their leg like a movie, and they play that movie out like it's real on the news, and then people watch it and they are petrified, pulling on the heartstrings of the people. Like they have a little African guy saying, "Well, can you feed? Oh, feed St. Jews. Oh, just $10 a month with a can of beans and some rice." And they playing a violin in the background, and they got some little actor back there with some dirt on their face with a scarf wrapped around looking sad like this. And they put the flies on their face, and they're not even swat the flies. Then you hear, cut, take two. And people falling for it. I ain't saying nothing. You ain't getting no donations from me because I'm donating to people right here. I'm using my money to know. McDonald's, no, you ain't getting no donations. No, none of these grocery stores talk about, can you? Nope. I got my own company. I got my own foundation. And I know where my money is going. So I'm not making any donations to these so-called celebrities and anything. You got money already, and why are you begging us for money? We getting taxed. Reverend Flim Flam asking for a love offering and 10%. Every which way you turn around, everybody got their hands stuck out to the point your dollar, you only spending maybe 15 cents out of if that on each dollar that you earn. And you worry why we rob and pay the PayPal. You wonder why so-called black people or people that's making less money are out of their minds. Because black means lack, and lack is the generational curse.
13 lack. That B is 13. I always wonder what that means. 13 LACK. 13 lack. Black. B lack.
So I'm glad we're learning. I'm so happy. And if anybody is still stuck in 3 dimension, I mean, I can't, whether they're family or not, I can't be around them for too long.
Ooh.
I know that religious fanatics wouldn't like a person like me. Because I don't have a belief system. I don't believe in the word believe, you gotta lie.
Oh, you don't believe.
Yeah. They're saying be blessed, and I'm not less. I have bliss. I'm blissful.
Be less. Bless.
You know, so we gotta you change up your English. I don't say hello. I say greetings, superior rising. When I start changing up the way I speak, the language, because they say, can you spell? Because people are casting spells on themselves with the English language. It's a dirty, low-down, tricky language. I'm glad I learned gematria and found out that Jesus and Lucifer are one and the same because they add up to the same numbers. And do numbers lie? No, they don't.
Hold on, Chief. Somebody by the name Roberta said she talked to Janine, our moderator. Y'all don't want to get fly with Janine because she will get fly right back and you won't be able to recover. But Roberta says Chief acted like he has contacts that told him something about the wealth transfer. I just want him to share this. Well, not only do we have contacts, that tell us stuff about the wealth transfer, but we actually have information and we share it. Anytime we do our lives, we give support our claims, and I support the claims with videos and articles. So I guess somebody wants you to share exactly who you got your information from. He doesn't have to do that because some people won't tell. Some people are not allowed to, or just won't come forward and say, hey, I got this information from who, so and so. Go ahead, Chief. What are you going to say?
I mean, listen, for anybody that don't believe in the wealth transfer or foreign currency, you have the right to exercise that. The foreign currency, this is something that has been happening. This is nothing new. The last time it happened that we know of was in 1991 with
Mm-hmm.
Kuwait. Am I correct?
You're correct. Very, very happy. Very, very
So,
true.
so if you can't handle that, that's a receipt. It happened before, and it happened before then. So these are
Mm-hmm.
things that happen where there's a wealth transfer that happens, and certain people are not once supposed to get this information. And to those who are still stuck in 3D that get it, it's too much for you to handle. It's too much for you to handle. When you can simply take less than $200 and be a millionaire. And if I tell you that for 114, they got the $100 trillion Zimbabwe for $114. And it's nothing. And I said you could get that and be a multi-millionaire, and you ignore that, that's on you.
Here you go, Chief. I asked, did the Kuwaiti dinar revalue in 1991? Yes, the Kuwaiti dinar was restored to its pre invasion value in early 1991 following the liberation of Kuwait. And it goes on to tell you what happened. Look, listen, on March 24, 1991, they returned the dinar to its original exchange rate of roughly $3.47 USD. It had dropped from, it was 4.37 during the war. It dropped to pennies on the dollar, and then it was reinstated back to $3.47 per one USD, and people became millionaires overnight. Go ahead, Chief. I just wanted to support.
So to that person, is that good enough for you?
They can find that
Is
in the
that,
New York Times.
is that receipt good enough for you? Did Dr. Karen answer your question? Because it's good enough for me. Anybody with the same mind, that receipt she just put right there should shut anybody up. And if you're still complaining about it, then we know that you were sent. And you're not going to distract us.
Here's the New York Times article. Should I put it in the comment section, or should so people have to look it up for themselves? I could put it in the comment section, but it's right here, New York Times. Okay, go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, man, that's an excellent receipt right there. That's good enough.
Okay.
Plus, you know some people personally.
Sorry, wait a minute,
His
wait a minute.
brother.
Say that again, Chief.
You know somebody. You know someone personally. His brother and him was able to participate in that transfer of wealth back in 1991.
Mm-hmm. I do.
So those two good receipts right there.
Thank you.
This time we're going to participate in it.
That's right. I couldn't find I was looking for what you said about the money that was in the towers being black dollars.
If you go to my that's on my Facebook page. If you go to Reels, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to my Reels, you should
Yes.
bring up that guy
Mm,
on Facebook where he said the reason why they
mm,
orchestrated 9/11.
mm,
Listen, all they do on mainstream, the O.J. Simpson trial was a psyop.
mm.
Nobody transitioned, and the lawyers were actors because they stopped. They were actors. Okay, the lawyers that played that they were actors. I mean, this is sickening.
Mm-hmm.
And if they staged the O.J. Simpson trial, that happened like maybe 1995.
Yeah.
If they did that, that means they were hiding something from the people.
They when I saw Megan, what's her name? Somebody Megan. She's a reporter. She looked just like Nicole Brown Simpson. I cannot
Yeah,
think of
that's
that.
the that reporter name. What's her name? I know you talk about. That's
When I
her.
yeah, I saw her
Okay,
in the magazine and years ago, and I was like, oh my God, that's Nicole Brown Simpson. Cannot think it. Megan Kelly, is that her name? But yeah, they just switch characters. Megan Kelly. Okay, thank you. My girl says Megan Kelly.
yeah,
Sister
Megan
Janine,
Kelly.
Sister Janine said, Chief, you giving me chills today. I know it's like he's on fire. He's under the anointing. The anointing. Chief, you been sitting with the ancestors or something?
We've been saying for a while that the world is a stage, guys. A Truman Show.
Mm,
We've been saying that for a while.
yeah.
I'm just glad that I woke up. And when you have this type of knowledge, the people that's still stuck in 3D would treat you bad.
Mm,
I've been talked about, ridiculed, persecuted, defamed, mocked, teased. I've been all of that because of the knowledge that I have now. Now people are starting to wake up now, and as long as people start to wake up, we're going to continue to grow.
yes.
Because people get tired of the same old, same old. It's not getting them anywhere. Their religion's not getting them anywhere. Their education's not getting them anywhere. Their political view is not getting them anywhere. The people are sick and tired,
Mm,
you know. And so the people are coming to us, and this is church right here. This is church.
mm,
Because the church is giving the people the same old rhetoric. They get the same old at these churches.
every day. Mm-hmm.
Then they give you some good music, put upside your head and spin you around, and then, say, give me some tithing offering and a love offering. It's the same old. Every first Sunday, you got to do a blood sacrifice, eat some flesh and drink some blood, to make sure that you bound yourself spiritually and physically and stay in this soul trap.
Mm.
And then saying, thank you, Lucifer. Thank you, Lucifer. By saying, thank you, Jesus, you're saying, thank you, Lucifer, because he's the God of this world. He has dominion over this world. And he has many different names, the fool, gullible people who are classified as lambs, and you shouldn't want to be a lamb because lambs get slaughtered. And the shepherd is Lucifer,
Ooh.
leading you to destruction.
If you see me looking, it's because I was trying to find it. Family, if I'm not looking into
Yeah.
the camera, I was trying to find this article. I keep finding articles about stolen wealth from the Black population. I mean, there's so many articles, that says that the government stole money from, stole our land, stole our wealth. It's crazy. And then this is something I've discovered. Historian Andrew Carl's book, The Black Tax, revealed that the United States government effectively took more than 600 billion from Black Americans through discriminatory taxes after slavery. The book details how inflated property assessments, hidden fees, land seizures, all of this prevented Black families from building generational wealth, forcing many into poverty. Carl's research shows how these policies left lasting economic damage over more than a century and highlights the role of systemic exploitation in widening the racial wealth gap. By exposing this history, the book calls attention to the need for reparative measures and broader reforms to address the ongoing effects of these injustices. Over $600 billion stole from Black Americans through discriminatory taxes after slavery. Hmm. Hmm. I just wanted to show you that, Chief.
And Soul Tribe, if I ask the Soul Tribe, who, since the United States right now, we know it's a corporation, okay? And the United States corporations gives Israel so many, like hundreds of millions of dollars to like billions of dollars each year. Soul Tribe, if you've been listening to me, who did you think owns the corporation of the United States?
Hmm.
And the state of Israel was created in 1948. So Israel is not a country; it is a corporation because it was created in 1948. Other than that, that land right there was just dry desert land, and those people were placed there because they wasn't there until 1948. So who do you think created the United States Corporation and Israel? Who are the masterminds guys behind that? Who do you think is the people of that corporation that created the United States Corporation and Israel? Because they're one and the same. So the United States Corporation was created, came here to America, and 250 plus years ago. And then they created Israel in 1948. And so the United States Corporation pulls money from this land and resources and people and sent over to Israel, which is themselves, and put a particular people there as stage to make it seem like they'll get the money when they're bagging, get the bag themselves. They use these people as a front to make it seem like they'll get the money.
Oh.
And they're getting the bag themselves. So they're funneling money from the American people as the corporation, United States, and sending it to Israel, which is themselves. We haven't heard nobody say that. So who's behind that? The black nobility.
That Sister Janine got it. That's right.
She's been paying attention, as she should.
Mm-hmm.
And they make us think that, to my dear white brothers and sisters, the power and control and rulership that you have is not there anymore because it was given to you and it's been taken away. So you're not powerful, and you can come out the high horse, my dear brothers and sisters, because it was given to you by the people who brought your family here on slave ships, and you were named as Slavics. You were the so-called slaves that they brought on ships, and we have receipts of that. So it's important that you know the truth. And it's not hate speech, but their control is not there anymore because the United States Corporation is dissolved. And anything that is created, I posted to my page right now, in Goodman, Mississippi, they don't have the police department has been dissolved.
I saw that on your page.
It's been dissolved. And my sister-in-law, that's where she's from, Goodman, Mississippi. She just said, wow, she commented. And Goodman, so it's not that they ran out of money. It's that this is a trend, guys. And you heard Brother Ron Hayes have been saying this as well as myself. This is the trend that you're going to start seeing happen. Now, the sheriff department would be there in control. And the sheriff department is supposed to protect Americans.
According to the Republic, is that right? According to our law?
Yes. And so this is what I'm saying. It's a beautiful time to be alive because we started to see these things happen in real time. So they had to bring the state troopers in to man and protect that city 24/7 because the police department is gone. They ran out of money. It's not that they ran out of money. They don't have the ability to rob people from their states.
Here's his receipt of police departments are shutting down across the United States.
Look at that right there.
Yep.
It's happening, Kim.
Our police departments, they're part of the United States Incorporated. Are they part of the corporation? Are police departments part of the corporation?
And you know what? To our dear brothers and sisters who works for the police department, you got some soul searching to do. Because you're working for the Gambino family, so to speak. You're working for some mobsters. That you got some good officers out there who really want to protect and serve. But you're working for a wicked corporation that has nothing to do with any government municipality, but are simply LLCs and corporations set up in our community to rob the people to give to the crown. It's treasonous. I'm sorry. You're working for a treasonous corporation to embezzle money from the American people to send over to the crown.
Here it is. Goodman, Mississippi went without its own dedicated municipal police force for about a whole year. This is your post. Due to budget constraints and officer resignation. However, following a viral video of these young men and other individuals seen waving guns in the town of Goodman, Mississippi caused the Department of Public Safety to indefinitely deploy state troopers to patrol the area 24 hours a day. The police departments across the lands are slowly being defunded, Chief Max says. Why? Well, because they are nothing but corporations or businesses that have nothing to do with the government municipalities. You see young boys over here, young men over here with guns, empty police cars.
Yep.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
It's man. It's a beautiful time to be alive to see this happening. It just makes we can govern ourselves. We can govern our own towns with righteousness. We can do that.
I was telling my children when I grew up, we didn't have police running up and down the street and all in our neighborhoods. You might have seen somebody that was deputized, like a deputy. He had a badge, but it was somebody from the community, like somebody you grew up with, or your uncle, or an elder, or Rallo, or Man. You know, somebody that had been. I don't know if they went through training or what. But we had neighborhood watches, and then we had a deputy that just had a badge on, and he would, be there if somebody got in trouble. He would take you over to your, he would give you a good lecture and then take you over to your grandma or to your parents' house and they deal with you. But I never seen all these police and sirens and all that. I didn't grow up like that. This was it. I'm talking about Cleveland, Ohio. I didn't grow up like that. Not in my early
It,
years.
it is dangerous and wicked to have foreigners policing
Mm.
true Americans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you sit there and bring somebody over here and give them a badge and a weapon, to do nefarious things to the true Americans here, that is war
That's
being
oh.
waged
Mm.
against the people. They're bringing people over here who benefit from seeing a certain people picked on and put in jail. They benefit. So they're brought here by the corporation who don't have any love for the true Americans, put them in the neighborhood. So when something happens, these people are already on 10 and escalate the situation. So this is why you're seeing black folks being choked on, slammed, handcuffed, shot, tased. And we still arguing with each other? We still argue with each other? We got all that smoke for each other, but we don't have for the police that's in our community. And it's not saying we need to come together and we need to speak on these things.
Oh, you know what? I think it was Sister Janine. Was it you, Sister Janine? She showed me a cop. It was a wearing a black mask, a black man's face, a mask of a brother who was going in Chicago shooting up places. So we had heard it was the police that was shooting up then, our people and putting drugs and guns in the community in Chicago and blaming it on the gangs. But Sister Janine showed me a video of how these white cops were actually, and maybe foreign nationals, putting on masks that look like black men going through our community shooting up folks.
I saw that happen, and when the Black Lives Matter happened in Atlanta back in 2018. I was like a reporter out there, recording things in real time, and saw that they had placed brand new bricks out there for these so-called Black Lives Matters people, which is trust fund babies and people in the rainbow family.
2020.
That was 2020.
That was 2020 because they were all doing that because they were allegedly.
That wasn't 2020. It could have been 2020.
When that when they were, I thought that was when they were protesting the George
the Black
Floyd.
Lives Matter. That wasn't 2020.
Okay.
It had to be at least 2018 to 2019. It wasn't 2020.
Okay.
At all. 2020 was the.
That was the George Floyd marches.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about black. I'm talking about Black Lives Matter when they came to Atlanta.
Okay.
When they came to Atlanta, I was out there, right there where I was living, and I was watching everything and watching those people. They saw me. They realized that I wasn't fooled, and they was watching me. They had spies out there.
Okay.
There were spies out there, and they were watching me, and they knew that I wasn't fooled. And they had
Okay.
people out there that had bricks. The goal was to make the Atlanta youth look bad by
Mm-hmm.
busting out the windows of these buildings downtown. The goal was to make the residents of Atlanta look bad. And I was there to say, no, it wasn't us doing that. It was these Black Lives Matters people doing that.
They did it again in 2020. Then I'm sorry, Chief. Here's reports of protesters throwing bricks during Black Lives Matter demonstrations in Atlanta. That was, but this probably was the one I'm thinking of that happened during George Floyd.
What
It
year
was
was that?
May 29th, 2020. But I'm sure it happened when you said it too.
Yeah, I saw fresh, brand new bricks. I saw bricks out there. And why would some so-called Black Lives Matter truly care about so-called black people? You had more white folks than black folks. Why would
Venice
they just care
Barnes
about
said,
us so much? You mean they was in Atlanta for over a month, and they were staying in these nice hotels because they were being paid, just living on. And who was the money behind so-called Black Lives Matter? George Soros.
yeah, Venice Barnes said the same thing happened and where she is in 2019, like you saw in Portland, Oregon.
I'm about to go a step deep with you guys because you guys need to know this. The so-called three black women of Black Lives Matter are not even women. They're gender cons.
Whoa.
Y'all gonna learn today. Because gender cons are the ones that deceive the people. Just
Mm,
like the so-called that white woman and black woman that were over the feminist movement in the 60s and 70s.
mm,
Those are not even women. They're men.
mm,
They are men. And I'm gonna prove to you guys. This is who they use, these gender cons. They in every movement that's going on in America, they send their people, they send their gender cons to deceive the people. And they realize that people are not watching TV anymore. So they're trying to keep
mm,
the people who start to wake up. So what have they started doing? They start sending these people to social media.
mm.
So these people on social media, that a lot of you guys that come out of nowhere, they got all these followers. More than likely, they're gender cons because they send them to social media platform because people are not watching TV anymore like they used to.
I'm
Y'all better
still
be
here.
careful.
Keep cooking, Chief. I'm still here, but before you came, I was eating lunch, so I just wanted to take a bite. But I'm back.
Okay,
Mm. You preaching gender cons. Mm. You and I
gender
were talking,
cons.
and you and I were talking about that, Chief. I was like, but what's the point? Like a lot of these so-called leaders on YouTube and Facebook that came from nothing. I was like, you can almost tell. You can tell now when you bring it up. I can see it. Some of them wearing masks, some of them aren't, but they're gender cons. I was like, but what's the point of presenting a man that looks like a woman or a woman that looks like a man? Like they're already deceiving us, pretending like they're for us. But why send somebody from the rainbow family or somebody that's a gender con? Why would they do that, Chief?
This is nothing new.
Okay.
Guys, what you need to realize is since the induction of television, they have been putting gender cons in front of us. It's nothing new.
Mm,
I've been telling you guys that the world is in control of the beat system. So who they call the devil is Lucifer. The image of Lucifer is the Baphomet, the go-headed god, female breast hermaphrodite.
mm,
And there are people that are made in that image. And these are the people who are ruling this whole world on TV. And I got a clip that I'm going to put up. And you guys, what they're doing is so deep. These amphibian reptiles are being placed in inverted bodies. They like to be in bodies because they had to.
mm,
They put these amphibian draconians and reptilians are placed in inverted bodies to invert and flip this world inside out and upside down. So I have a clip of a woman that was standing, so-called women, standing up there with Mr. T and looking very peculiar because they were trying to keep themselves from morphine.
Mm.
And then, and you see their neck breathing,
Mm.
moving like a frog. With a lizard or a frog breathing, their neck blows out like that, moving. Well, why was this woman's neck doing the same thing?
Mm.
And this so-called woman got arms that look like she's supposed to be competing in the Mr. Olympia.
You are so funny.
No, I'm serious. Don't know woman supposed to have arms that long. Men typically have longer arms than women. Am I correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the anatomy. So I know the anatomy of a man and a woman, even though they try to dress that monkey up with some makeup.
Mm. Somebody asked me.
Arms,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
go
No, no,
ahead.
no, no. You go ahead.
No, so this woman arm so long she can scratch her calves without bending. And I'm gonna post it, and when y'all see it, you'll be able to see it. So now you need to see the world in the perspective in which I see this world, and always look at it because we're in an upside down world. And when you understand the law of reversal, like I do, then you're gonna look at everything like that. And anybody that's been sent, you're gonna look at them real good, look at their face, look at them real good. So that's
It,
why they had to create makeup because makeup was designed to make up a man to look like a woman. So they had to recreate how a woman look by creating makeup. That's why they call what you call uh that group makeup cover cover girl
cover
cover
girl.
girl. All those are cover boys.
Mm.
They made makeup. Makeup wasn't made for women. I mean, it was made for men. Gender cons. Now they got women out there looking just like these men, so help these gender cons blend into society because we got women out here wearing these wigs on their head like mops in all colors. They go out here and get the BBLs, which don't stand for
Mm.
Brazilian butt lift. It stands for bogus booty liar. They lie to you guys. That's what it stands for. They lie to y'all.
Here,
It don't
here.
stand for BBL. It stands for bogus booty liars. And they
Mm.
got y'all women out here. They place it on TV, and now you want to look like Cardi B, Cardi He. You
Cardi
want to look
B.
like the other one, that's big, tall, bodacious one. Women are not supposed to be bodacious like these women on TV.
Mm.
Women are supposed to be soft, meek, elegant, soft-spoken, because her power is in that. She's so powerful, she don't have to be like that. The
That's
softness
right.
and meekness of how she speaks, how she moves, how she says, how she bet her eyes would shut any real man down. Because I know that should have shut me down. Not though women saying I got act like she got testicles and nuts like a man, and said I'm a strong black woman. But damn, said, well, damn, you don't need me because you're strong all by your damn self. I don't want a woman like that. They make me feel like, oh,
Come
she
in.
gonna save me. No, I don't need that. So
Mm. What y'all
it's
getting?
balance. It's balance. So I like a soft, delicate woman.
Keep cooking, Chief. I'm talking to my daughter. Hold on.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's what kind of woman I like. I don't want no strong, masculine woman. They're saying sit down. I'm sitting next to her and I'm quiet. No, I don't want that. No, no. I don't want that kind of woman. But we got to make sure, guys, that we looking and not be so gullible to just follow anybody. Many of you guys follow Candace Owen. Candace Owen was born with the same thing between my legs Candace Owen got.
There were some conservatives on Twitter that said that about a year or two ago, and they got a lot of pushback. But these are conservatives that are high up, that are actually a part of cliques and clubs. And they were saying the exact same thing. And they were like, y'all gonna find out.
That's what you call controlled opposition. And when they come in there and talk like they care about us and speaking on our behalf, and they mix a lot of lies with a little bit of truth.
Mm.
That's what the adversary does. He took
Mm.
a book for the so-called Dead Sea Scrolls and put some truth with a lot of lies, and the book gave you the New Testament.
Mm.
It got you guys following something. If the creator speak once, he don't have to speak again because he speaks truth. So you don't have to change up what he says. And the creator is not in no damn book written in black and white, but in the hearts of them who are speaking righteousness today.
Chief, somebody has a question for us. It's Sister Ariella. She said universal income is being given with the mark of the beast, the implanted microchips. Are you okay with that? Because I'm not. You have a response, Chief?
You can keep on working your job and robbing people to pay Paul. That's the mark of the beast too.
Mm.
You can keep on getting your government check if you get one, a social security check. That's the mark of the beast too. So if you speak that way, quit your job, stop giving your social security check, and go out there with the squirrels and deers and eat some leaves and some acorns on the ground and take a bath and some fish water. Okay, then if you believe that. But in Rome, you have to do what the Romans do. If you believe that, and you're saying that, but you got a check coming from the beast system. Okay, then so cut it out. Redo it, rethink it. Nice try.
And a lot of the money that we're getting, or the so-called money, it's going to be digital. I mean, so it's going to go into our quantum accounts or some type of accounts in a non-interest bearing account, but it's digital. So I'm not sure how that would come with the implanted microchip, unless she's saying the only way you can spend that money is with the microchip. I don't understand exactly what she's saying, but I wouldn't worry about it, Sister Ariella, because like Chief said, we're already in the beast system. But if you don't want the universal high income, then you could maybe use the fiat dollars that you're getting from the beast system right now to buy gold and silver. Okay. And I'm not trying to be smart. Like, I'm just saying a lot of people, don't trust what's coming. But, what are we going to do? We going to not have money? We're going to not have wealth?
So people are working jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're paying you out your own estate. Okay, then. They're paying you out your own estate. If you know what type of world we're in, people worry about the wrong thing. Worry about the wrong thing, man.
I am love said.
See, those of us who get this wealth, people who think like that, those of us who get this wealth, we have humanitarian projects, we have our foundational trust. And what are we planning on doing? We plan on using this wealth to help out humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, anytime they try to come with something negative and bad to do, the righteous going to take it and do righteous things with it. Evil people do evil things with money, and righteous people do righteous things with money. So evil people is the root of all evil when they get money, and righteous people, it answers all things.
Also remember that the central bank digital currencies that the people that were in power wanted to get us to use, that one coin or the worldwide coin that everybody would have to use that allegedly came with the microchip, all those, the CBDC, central bank digital currency, was ruled as unconstitutional, and states all across the land have rejected those. So states have taken back their power, and they're saying we're not accepting the central bank digital currencies or the chip that comes along with it. And you can look that up. I'll show it to you, but you can also look that up. Chief Jacob Bay said transgenders have nothing to do with the IBGTQ movement. RFB Supreme said, thank you.
I mean, I already showed you Barbara Lewis King at Hillside Baptist Church. She's not the only gender con that's running already. Every head of religion in these religious churches, they're gender cons running it because they know that their God is Jesus. Their God, Jesus, is Lucifer. They know this. Why would Barbara King feel so good at 6'7", flat-footed, with a mop on her head for a wig, with long 84-inch reach, hands that can wrap around a basketball like a tennis ball, a size 22 double triple E? Why would she be in the church if she didn't feel like Lucifer is disguised as Jesus? That's my God. And preaching the good message. Because they know that Lucifer is the God of this world. And y'all don't care to get it.
Venus said, don't get Chiefs talking about their feet. Yeah, I was talking to Chief about feet the other day, and I was like, "Oh, Chief, I noticed some of the so-called women wear long dresses or something that will cover up their feet. But if you could look real closely, they do look, kind of manly, but they cover them up with these long robes or long dresses." And I was like, "That's interesting."
Yeah. And so many so-called male celebrities, they got pictures of these male celebrities with big bellies, like they swallow a live turkey.
I
Then they
know.
always say, "Oh, he went to prison." Why is it the male celebrities
Mm,
mostly are going to prison, not the female celebrities? Because when
mm,
the male celebrities go to prison, they don't be in prison. They just remove them out of the scene so they can have that baby.
mm,
Okay, then so-called y'all laugh and talk about baby oil and to thinking Puff
mm,
Daddy in jail, and did y'all know so-called Puff Daddy had to go to the hospital while he was in jail? Why? Because he
mhm,
pushed out a baby. And Puff Daddy is not even his real name. His real name is Journey Brown. That's a female name. Journey
mm,
Brown. Just like Cat Williams, acting like he's telling us the truth about celebrities. Cat Williams can kick rocks. Until you tell us that you have ovaries, then I'll believe what you say. Because his real name is Micah Sierra Williams. Well, man, they got a name like Micah Sierra Williams.
mm,
And Jamie Foxx, Jamie is a unisex name.
mhm, mm.
Y'all don't know the half, man. What kind of
No,
world we
maybe not.
in? They told you Shikari is Richard's son.
Ah,
Shikari is Richard's son. They put it in their names.
mm,
Diana Ross said, "I'm coming out and I want the world to know that I have testicles." And on that album, where Diana Ross said she's uh, sitting with some shorts on, and her feet is this long. Her feet is that long.
wow.
If a woman got feet that big, now we know that some women have big feet, but those feet on Diana Ross, I would want home on my team when we playing kickball.
I'm not messing
Amazing.
with you today, Chief. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. I'm not. I am not.
You know she'll kick her home run every time with those feet. I want her on my team. You heard of Aretha Franklin? You make
Mm,
me feel like a natural woman. What
mm.
real woman would say something like that?
You make me feel like a natural
What
woman. Yeah,
real woman would sing that, Kia?
because
You make
aren't
me feel
all women
natural.
natural? How
Because
somebody gonna
I'm
make
not
you?
natural. Because I'm
Mm,
not natural. I'm not a
mm.
natural woman. I don't get moist like a natural woman. So you make me feel like a natural woman because I'm not. I'm not. They've been putting it right in your face.
Chief is in rare form today, family.
Yeah. Tamala Man, the old gospel singer, Tamala
Mm,
Man, Tamala is the man. Come on,
mm,
man. They telling y'all.
mm,
With that big loud voice like that, them big lungs like that. And
mm,
the husband is always dancing and happy go lucky because he has ovaries.
mm. And what about Ella May? If you look
Come
up
on,
Ella
guys.
May, backwards is I am male. I was like,
This is what kind
what?
of world this is what kind of
Mm,
world we live in. And this is what the people that they're giving us on mainstream television, these sports. Why would you think most of the so-called athletes we wear dresses?
they do.
Deion Sanders on stage with a dress on.
Mm,
What's that? Charles Barkley with a dress on. Shaquille with a dress on.
yeah.
What's that? Dennis Rodman had a dress on, a white wedding dress on, and he
Mm,
felt so natural and so
mm,
happy. Rich, that football player, was on the cover of Sports Illustrated with Mike Dicker with a wedding dress on. Ricky Williams,
mm,
the running back for the Miami. They are trying to tell you something, and they are able to achieve these things with hormone replacement therapy. I'm going
mm.
deep down the rabbit hole with you guys.
What about that bas
Go,
was it? I'm sorry.
go ahead.
What about the guy who took a knee, Colin Kaepernick? Also, I don't know if a lot of people saw him. They're like, oh, he's taking a stand for what's right. He won't stand up to the flag or whatever. But then people don't know that. Then next thing we know, he was spread all across the magazine, laying across the magazine, butt naked. I was like, ooh, do men do that?
He's another gender con.
Okay.
These are gender cons. The professional football players that they push, and the athletes that they pushing on the mass, that they push, they are able to achieve these things. If y'all don't know about it, that's why it's important to know what kind of world we live in, through hormone replacement therapy. They can give it to a girl when she's young and make her grow tall and big. And T-shots. They got the type of technology that they can get to these people and create them to be what they wanted to be.
And when you look at these folks' names, a lot of them aren't even American. Like Kaepernick is Kaepernick. That doesn't look American. But yeah, he was posing naked.
It's not black. That man not black. And they got him posted all over the black neighborhoods as if he's black.
He not.
And they're getting on one knee with the head. Look at that right there. Look at that arch in his back. Look at that arch in his back.
Yep.
You see that arch? A man don't have an arch like that, but a woman.
Woo-wee.
That's a woman's. What you call the anatomy of a woman. From right here, I'm looking at it, look like a woman because it's far back. That's the arch, and in that back, a woman's back can bend like that. Man back can't bend like that. That's a woman.
And he got more too, looking saucy. I was like, now I didn't know about gender cons back then, but I was like, why he looking posing like a woman, and why everybody worshiping him like he's something we should celebrate? And he's spreading ego and posing and looking all feminine with his naked body on magazines.
Just like they had Carl Lewis with a pair of red high heel pumps on, bent over, ready to run. Carl, they trying to tell you.
Stay Prayed Up said back in the day, men wore high heels to build their calves, so even heels were made for men.
And they trying to show you that there's no difference between church and celebrity. Why would T.D. Jakes be hanging out with Puff Daddy? And did you know, in the benediction, when T.D. Jakes started, he prays to the breasted God? That's the Baphomet. He said, oh, breasted God. He's talking about the Baphomet, the goat God. Have y'all happened to take a really good look at T.D. Jakes' wife and daughters? I wear a size 18, I wear a 19 in the neck. Why his daughters got a 19-inch neck? Them girls look like they could be starting fullback for the Chicago Bears. Y'all ain't ready for what kind of world we live in. Y'all ain't ready. You ain't ready for what kind of world we live in. All these male, you just name it. Eddie Murphy, another gender con.
Now, what's the part? I'm still, that's kind of bothering me that even like people on YouTube that sprung up out of nowhere, when you look at them closely, you and I have talked about, I'm like, these people look awfully peculiar. And I'm like, but why give us a man who's posing as a woman? It just, I can't, I don't know, Chief. So do they?
Because they got women emasculating men. Because you have men acting metrosexual, it's really women that look like men. And they got the women on these reality shows. Talk about Atlanta Housewives. How about Atlanta House Husbands? Because they're all men. Nene Leakes was wearing a shirt that said he wears pink shoes, and she got on pink shoes. They try to tell you. He wears pink. Got a shirt on that said he wears pink shoes, and she had on high heel pink shoes. They're trying to tell you. It's what kind of world we live in, because these men that look like women are boisterous and emasculating men. Nene Leakes, when our so-called husband was living, was the breadwinner, and the husband was at home. So they're trying to send a message that, and you talk about, it's men. You wouldn't know who rules and run the world? Women. Because the so-called men in leadership position on TV are really women. And where has it got us?
Oh, somebody said Rihanna. Don't you say that about Riri.
Man, we already know that Riri got a big wee wee. We already know that. Come on, that she beat up Chris. She beat up Chris.
Mm,
I'm sorry. If you're a man and you had some grease at 2 o'clock in the morning or some lotion thinking about Riri, you need to repent. Because Riri would get not only your girl pregnant, she'll get you pregnant too, Holmes. All
mm,
of them. All
mm.
of them. That's what kind of world we live in. And this is why we're saying that we have to turn this hell into
Yeah.
our heaven, because earth is ran by the beast system, and the beast is the Baphomet, the goat-headed God. They showed LeBron James, LeBron James' shadow was that of the Baphomet.
Mm.
LeBron James' shadow.
Oh, look at Chief. Nah, I can't make this up. So somebody was like, not Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy pushing out a baby. No, they're saying no. What did they say? It can't be or something like that. So I looked it up. And so I asked, y'all, please forgive me. I'm not saying that I'm trying to be messy, but I asked, Puff Daddy looks pregnant. I just want to know, what AI say. They said Sean Diddy Combs, formerly Puff Daddy, is not pregnant. However, he has faced public comments regarding a bloated and puffy appearance during his incarceration and court appearance. While others have confused him with his former partner, Cassie, who was visibly pregnant during her court testimony. What? They say he looked notably bloated. Oh my God.
Y'all ain't ready for this truth, man. Y'all ain't ready for it. It's not very many people that talk the way I talk about that. You ain't gonna have a lot of people that expose and bring this out the way I
This
do.
is crazy.
We live in a crazy world. That's right.
Mm.
And they got plenty of them on these social media platforms, from
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. They're on here, and they got these big names, and they're agenda cons. You want to look? They look peculiar, okay?
And they have a lot of. I noticed the females have a lot of masculine energy. But you just thinking it. I'm just thinking, well, that's a little peculiar. That's a little strong, but you know, okay. But it does seem some of them seem a little strong or a lot of strong, and they
I just
talk
asked.
like. Mm-hmm.
I just asked the creator to expose everything in the dark and bring it to light.
Mm-hmm.
See, they know a lot of people were waking up and didn't want to watch television. So when they sent these people on an assignment to the social media platforms, and many people are falling for it.
And a lot of people don't know they're causing division within the family, with the indigenous so-called Black families. They are causing the division with this debate: who is who, and who should be ruling, and who should have a dominion over the family. And I don't see the healing. I don't see the healing in this.
Yeah. So this we got to. These I'm gonna go further deeper. Start going deeper on my platform about. I just talk about it a lot more, but I just think people are getting sucked right back into these lies and going into situations blindly and following people blindly without vetting people. We got to do better. And I don't have any hate for anybody. I have people in my family that are gender cons. Not cons, but they are openly like this. I just want people to be aware of who people are. The people on TV are this way, and many of you guys are following these gender cons who hate us. They hate us. When they say they love you, they hate you. When they say they want to help you, they want to hurt you. That's just what they think that way. And you guys watching the BET Awards and country and they are all gender cons.
Well,
Why do you
somebody
think
said,
Kirk Franklin is right on stage? Kirk Franklin is a gender con.
I was just gonna ask somebody asked, what about the gospel industry? Go ahead,
They're
Chief.
all like that. They're all like that. Christianity can kick rocks. Islam can kick rocks.
Mm,
To kick rocks.
mm.
It's sickening. It's so
Yeah,
sickening that they got to wear. Yeah.
they even had Kirk Franklin with pink lipstick on a
Kirk
magazine.
Franklin wearing tight pants, shake dancing, and twerking on stage. They're trying to tell you.
Mm,
What they say? Yolanda has an Adam's apple.
mm.
Yolanda Adams, standing a whopping 6'1", a size 13 man heels, tall. They're trying to tell you.
Hi, Sister Harvetta Lassiter Bay. It's good to see you. She cracking up. They can't believe you talking like this, T. Maybe they can believe
It's the
it.
damn truth. It's the damn truth. Better wake up.
Mm.
All of them are gender cons. All the singing. I like good music. I showed y'all Prince bent over, busting it wide open, taking back shots
You did. You, oh,
with a canary
man.
yellow apple on. He said, I'm not your mama. I'm not your daddy. I'm something that you can't even imagine. He
Ooh.
told you that. Did you know that in Cameo, in the song She's Strange, but he like her? Why is she strange? Because she got a stick. A chick with a stick. And in that song, did you know in that song, I think like right, it's a song, I'm gonna find. He said she's a woman dressed in drag in that
Mm-mm.
song. But y'all couldn't hear it because the
Mm-mm.
music put you in the daze. He said she's a woman dressed in drag. And it takes a
Wow.
strange man to love a strange man because the group are inverted. Cameo is a woman. The whole group.
So let me ask you this. So I mean, what do they do? They at birth? I heard they can do gender assignment at birth. Is that what you think that's happening?
They do that, and they also at puberty give girls estrogen blockers to stop them
Mm,
from growing breasts. And a lot of
mm,
these new celebrities, rappers, want to know why they have all these tattoos. The high,
right.
so you want to see Kevin Gates. Oh, Kevin Gates. They had a picture of Kevin Gates with hips. They have
Mm,
all them tattoos to hide the scars of them getting the vasectomy, getting their breasts cut off.
mm,
This shit deep, man. It's deep. It's deep. They got a
mm.
picture of the Rock, talking about the Dwayne Johnson, the big rock that y'all women crazy about. That think he gonna grab you by the neck and choke you and give you something nice and hard. No.
Mm.
Dwayne, I got a picture of him in the bed with a newborn baby up against his chest the way a woman would have a newborn baby.
You saw.
Do you know any man that's in the hospital bed with they shut off with a baby up against them? If he's in the bed with a newborn baby, where's the woman his wife that had the baby?
Mm,
Where's I don't know any man when my daughter was born. Why would I have my shirt off in the bed
mm.
looking like I'm exhausted, like I just pushed her out? You don't want to. When my daughter's mom had that baby, there's no way I'm gonna take the baby from her. The baby was resting on her chest, the
Yeah.
bond with the mom. Okay,
Mm, mm.
so why Dwayne Johnson got a newborn baby on his chest with his shirt off, looking like he just pushed the baby out? He looking exhausted with flowers on the right there on the table next to him in a hospital bed. Y'all ain't ready for
Mm,
this right here, man.
mm-mm,
And
mm-mm.
all these male celebrities got their bellies sticking out real big. When Jamie Foxx so-called went to the hospital, he was going to have a baby. When Mark Lawrence so-called lost his mind and had to go to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
he was having a baby. When Kanye West so-called lost his mind on stage and they had to remove him, look at that right there.
Oh,
Can't make it up.
now they got this whole thing where they'll say skin to skin contact. Now they got everybody doing that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I wonder if it came from celebrities taking their shirts off with babies.
Y'all you can believe that if you want to.
He in the bed right here. Yep, he's in the bed. Mm. With the flowers and like somebody just gave birth.
It's right there in black and white to you guys. Right there.
Mm. And the guys. Okay.
Where's his wife at? Shouldn't that baby be on his wife's chest breastfeeding?
Mm.
That baby is laying on his mama's chest right now.
Mm.
He pushed that baby out.
And notice the guys, whenever their wives get pregnant, Hollywood even talked about this, but they were like, "Oh, it's a trend. Whenever the woman gets pregnant, the husband gains the weight, and all you see on the wife is the what they call a baby bump. But the husband is always chunky. You even talk about Kanye West; he got chunky. Puffy got puffy or chunky. All these men get chunky, but the wives
I
don't.
have I have a picture of Ray J
Oh no.
before they switched him over to a man. He was
Oh,
a beautiful lady, beautiful Ray J. And have anybody seen how Brandy look right now?
you showed me. Oh my God. Oh,
Have
poor
anybody
Ray.
seen how Brandy look? See, after
Mm.
years of using hormone replacement therapy, as a man, after they get a certain age, it shuts down. They lose weight and they start looking like the man that they are. Have anybody seen how Brandy look right now?
I'm about to show you. 'Cause
Have,
I was shocked when I saw. I was like, "Oh my God, what happened to Brandy?" Hmm.
wow, wow,
That's sad.
wow,
Hmm.
wow.
Oh baby,
Them hormones ain't working no more.
that's sad. Hmm.
See how big the skull is, and they
Hmm.
done surgery on it to try to how big the ears is.
Hmm.
How you see that energy? Y'all read what kind of energy that is right there? This is
Hmm.
why they have to remove it and do a fake so-called death, a fake death to remove them off the world stage.
Hmm.
Put them
Somebody,
inside the man. Go ahead.
no, some people are saying since you've been talking about this, they did deep dives and started looking at clavicles and bone structures, and they
Yeah,
noticed that the clavicle is more pronounced and protruding in males, and the collar in women sits
of
back.
course.
Mm.
I teach this stuff. I've been on this stuff for years. Just like who else? Madonna, Donna. Madonna got that same look like Brandy. Madonna like she
Whoa,
about to compete in Mr. Olympia. Cut up,
she does. She does. She did.
4% body fat.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And look at all these celebrities. Most of their children are either GAY or switching their assignment.
Mm.
Hell, she told you who is that? The singer Cher. They say her mom said you need to marry a rich white man. But she said I'm a rich white man. Cher. She said that.
Woo, child.
Come on now, guys. Come on, wake up.
Mm.
They got the trans world of sports. For what? With Serena.
Mm.
I'm trying to get my arms and shoulders look like hers.
You know, I wish I had kept this article I had of the Serena and her sister Venus dad actually admitted it was an article in I want to say like 2012. He admitted that his girls were boys, and he said, and I decided that they needed to be boys so they can compete in sports. It was in the article, and I actually when that happened, I reported, but I wasn't on YouTube. I had it on my Facebook page. I was like, look what he said. And people were like, oh, he was just joking. I said, but why would he say something like that?
Everybody picking on Big Mike. Everybody always picking on Big Mike. But have you ever seen Mama Bush? We know about
I
Big
was,
Mike. Y'all know who Big Mike is, don't you?
I was trying to see why she said I am a man. No. The president, the first lady, the former first lady. Here it is.
I mean, I'm, I'm probably giving people too much. I'm gonna stop right here because I'm giving them too much meat. They're gonna throw up.
Look, Cher, I don't know. Can y'all see this? What Cher said? Yep. Okay. Cher said, I am a rich man. I like them, but I don't need them. What? In a 1996 interview with Jane Pauley, Cher famously shut down the age-old advice to marry a rich man. Dang, she said, Mom, I am a rich man. Good God. Okay.
Right there, right there.
My Lord. Okay, Chief.
So I mean, we stop right. I mean, I'm giving it too much meat.
Okay.
They're gonna throw up. We're giving it too much meat. They can't handle it. Y'all, I'm giving out too much meat. They throwing up right now.
Mm, mm.
Joyce Myers. We don't know about Joyce Myers. Look like a clown because this is why Hollywood is inundated with plastic surgery.
And they got us doing it. Mm-mm-mm.
See?
Mm. Oh, Chief, here's a question about the wealth transfer. Thank you, Leslie. How are the homeless and very poor going to receive the wealth transfer? I'm hungry, Chief.
How
I
are
haven't
the
eaten.
homeless and
Poor.
very poor going to receive the wealth transfer? They'll start getting checks in the form of
Mhm.
Nassau Consult. They'll start getting checks.
Trust me, homeless and poor people know how to get their money. They know how to
See,
go to the government and say,
they do.
they
They
do.
do.
Oh, they did it during COVID and they doing it today when they get them checks.
See, these churches got the homeless. The homeless come to them, and the churches get their social, give them money to get a license, get that social security card, and use them as a dependent, and pull money from their state. This is what these churches are doing across America.
Mm-hmm. And you know,
Because
so
they'll open up
homeless.
their churches, these
Mhm.
homeless shelters, for the people to be a dependent and then pull money from their state. They get paid to do that.
And when they find out, when homeless people find out that people are getting their wealth, they know where to go because they know where to go for welfare benefits, food stamps. They know all the programs
This
typically.
is what people fail to realize right now. Most of the homeless they're homeless because most of them are on drugs. But most of the homeless got a check coming. They got a check coming. Most
They
of their
got to
family
check.
members are getting their checks at the house.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of them. That's how they are. I'm not trying to talk. And this is just facts. They do. A lot of them do have checks, and they know all of. They know all where the soup kitchens are. They know where the food banks are. They know where the shelters are.
Yeah,
When they hear
yeah.
that information is coming out about the money, they gonna trust. They gonna get theirs. Some of them even have phones, so when they hit that account, they'll get a message. The government know
And
where
what,
everybody is.
what many of us who have humanitarian projects, some of us are going to get these homeless people,
Yes,
put them in, give them shelter, and we're going to help them get their own bag.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that, Chief.
Yep.
Chief, some people want to know how they can get a trust from you or how they can get a consultation. Where do they need to go?
Email me, guys, at Unity in Motion
I'll write that down.
45 at yahoo.com. There will be a $75 consultation fee so we can know who's serious. I don't want to be on the phone with any. I got way too many people I'm talking to just to be on the phone, just running my mouth and talking to people. Just know that I'm a busy guy. I got people right now. When I get off with Kia, I got about 20 calls to make to talk to people. I don't give financial. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. I'm just give you just what I have done with myself and what you should do. What you can do. So if you
Here's
if you got foreign currency, you're gonna need a trust. Whether you get one from me, from the bank, or from someone else.
they
But
want
you
to know your
don't
channel. Go ahead. Here's excuse
don't
me.
want to get one from
Go
the
ahead, Chief.
banks. You don't want to get a trust from the banks because it's known as a skeleton trust. And if you give them to somebody else, I hope they're going to spend the time with you like I have with countless people to help them get that trust open at the bank. I'm not going to leave you to fend for yourself. I'm going to be there with you like I have with countless other people helping them get that trust open at the bank.
Chief Mac's channel is right here. Somebody asked. Thank you so much, Sister Regina. It says, does Chief Mac have a channel, please? Here you go. It's on YouTube. You can just look for Chief Mac, type in Chief Mac in YouTube, and here it is. He goes live typically at night between 9 and 10, 9 and 11. Here's his channel. If you desire to, and I'll put it in the chat. If you desire to get a trust from him, let me find his, I'll find his information, Unity Emotion 45 at yahoo.com, right here. There it is on the screen. Chief, some people from the private group had wondered if sometime this week, maybe this weekend, you might be busy tomorrow, but if you would come in a private group and talk more about the trust, because some people want to secure a trust from you, but they want to hear from you, like in a private group. Can you talk about the trust, what to do, and what to do after uh, they get the trust, like with the SS4, and EIN and all that. They
Yeah,
they just have questions. Can you, if you have time this week, would you mind to go live with us in the private group?
I don't mind.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. So join the private group if you want detailed information about a trust and you're really, really serious about it. You can call Chief anyway. But for those of you that are in the private group, if you just, because sometimes people in the private, they don't really want to talk publicly. They want to talk in the private. So if you're interested in joining a private group, please do so. We'll put that in the chat. You can just hit any of my join buttons on my membership, on my join button on my YouTube channel, and hit follow the prompts, and you'll be in. But I'll put that up for you and put this in the chat. So, Chief, today we were talking about why giving each person a certain amount of money, universal high income, why it could work. And I was telling everybody they're doing it in some other countries like Qatar, what else? Norway. These people get free healthcare, free education, allotment of money in their accounts every month because they're wealthy nations. No income tax. And I think people thought that didn't really happen. These people live very wealthy. But it's the nationals. Some reports say you can be a citizen, but immigrants don't get money. The immigrants serve the people of those nations. Like they're the maids, they're the ones that cut the grass, they're the ones that do the work. So I just wanted to let people know that this is very possible. In fact, it will happen. And I thank you for explaining where that money's coming from. Let me see. And finally, Chief, I had said that a lot of people will have to go. The reason why a lot of people are being sent back to their homelands is because they're going to get wealth from their homelands, and they're be used there to build up their own homelands and to create businesses there. What do you say to that?
I mean, the homeless are going to get it, but these people, they're going to be watching these people because a lot of these people are on drugs.
No, not the homeless, not the homeless, the foreign nationals, the immigrants that came over here. I'm saying they
got to leave. They got to leave.
Okay.
Someone gonna have to leave. I talked to a woman. She told me about a few days ago. She said she's prepared to leave. She said she want to come back the right way.
Wow.
She told me that. She said she don't like the things that have happened to the so-called black people, the African Americans, and if she has to leave, she's prepared to leave. I got foreign currency. I'm prepared to leave and come back the right way.
Now that's admirable.
I said I would like to have you on the show to talk about that because that's honorable what you're saying. She said we should be ashamed. She said, the true Americans have had it handed to them, and she said if I have to leave, I'm prepared to go and come back the right way.
Wow.
She said, why would I sit back and argue and run my mouth about being somewhere that I didn't come in the right way?
Wow.
She said, it's not right. She said, I'm prepared to go if I have to and come back the right way. I have the money to come back the right way.
Wow. And then do you believe that because I said that they will get wealth from their own nations. What do you say to that?
Well, you should want to go back to your homeland. Get the bag. How you come? You might want to stay in your homeland. Who knows? But you're not a birthright citizen. You would have to go back. And just come. If you want to come back, just come back the right way. Because the citizens was to pay taxes to them, and the taxes were supposed to be used for the true Americans to live our most amazing life. Because y'all coming here on our land. We were never supposed to pay. Taxes were supposed to be for the people who came over here. They pay taxes, and those taxes were supposed to be used for us.
Wow.
Because you come over here on our land, breathing our air, eating our food, drinking our water, that our ancestors built up, these Tartarian structures, this beautiful plush green, all of us, it's been created by our ancestors, and you're over here on our land, so you were supposed to be paying taxes that were supposed to benefit us.
Mm,
They switched it.
dang. Francisca says, what if we're not a documented indigenous person or we don't have documented indigenous heritage?
Hey, listen, they know who's indigenous to this land, and the people who are labeled African Americans and Black are the indigenous birthright people who sprung up from these lands. And if that is not you, then you're here illegally. A true American is the so-called black man and black woman, which is called Timerica, which is Turtle Island, the land that sprung up from the waters first. If that's not you, because we showed you, everybody else came here on ships or on planes. You were brought here. The only people who wasn't brought to this land was the so-called African American and Black people. We were here already.
Mm-hmm. But do you have to have now? You know, I don't know if they're saying do they have to document it? I don't know, but Chief, he answered that question already. Who else? Somebody said, some people just don't believe in a universal high income. Truth be told, says a universal income flirts with one world order. In my spiritual eye, it would have to be without public obligation. I don't know what that means, privately speaking. Okay. Well, the universal high income, it's just another word for a significant amount of money that's coming into people's account. But here, maybe universal is what's making people not feel comfortable. Well, we don't have to accept it. We don't have to accept it. I can understand, people just may not feel comfortable. What? Oh, here you go. Brad Henry says, what will be the purpose of money if we have free energy? Steve?
Listen, people with land use the land as leverage to get to get monetary wealth. Okay, the land that you have becomes an asset, and you can utilize your land as an asset to pull monetary wealth to handle your business. Okay, so by land by itself, land is wealth. Why? Because you can charge people to utilize your land to get monetary wealth that you need. So land by itself is not going to get you anything. Come on, guys. Land by itself is not going to get you anything. But you can utilize your land to put wealth. Mm-hmm. If you own land, some people got oil on their land, got gold on their land, and you use that land for resources to enrich the family.
Thank you, Chief.
Land by itself can't do it. Land by itself won't do anything. You got people that sitting on land and poor because they don't know how to utilize it.
And free energy too. That's what be the purpose of money. If you have free, you can have free energy, but you might not need money, but you might desire it. And if you don't like the United States Treasury Department approved Trump's plan to phase out all paper currency and use gold and digital coins instead. So the so-called money we're used will be gold. That's lawful money according to Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution. Or digital. We already use digital money, right? Or digital asset. You use digital platforms. But gold, you might want to buy a luxury item. I don't know. You might want to, whatever they give you, accumulate land, metals, and all that, and pass it down to your children. But here's the thing. If you all don't want to accept the money, you don't have to. You don't have to accept anything. Nobody will force you to take universal high income, gold, silver, nothing. You can, really. Some people say they don't want fiat dollars. They'd rather be poor and live, well, I don't want to say poor. They'd rather live with nothing. And that's their prerogative. Rima says, please stop stereotyping the homeless. I think the only thing we said about the homeless is that a lot of them are on drugs. That's documented fact. Uh, everybody, we're not saying everybody is homeless, but a lot of homeless people are. Even the veterans that are there, unfortunately, a lot of them are, they drink alcohol. And then you have,
Listen, I can speak on the homeless because I worked around the homeless.
I
So
did too. Thank you. But
well, so you can
you
say what you
more
want to say. You ain't been around the homeless like I've been around the homeless. I have homeless friends in Atlanta that I'm planning on going and getting them when the RV happens. So I can speak on it because I got love for them. I take care of them. I clothe them. I give the homeless clothes. I've given them food. Some of them that I know that's not on drugs, I've given them. So I can speak on it. So you can tell me what to do. I'm one of those people. People can say what they want to say. The ancestors see what I have done with the homeless. And a lot of people on this platform, they talk, but I actually put my hands and foot on this pavement and out these streets, being that superhero,
you have,
speaking to the homeless, speaking life to them, loving on them, and everything. So I can speak on them.
you have, and
You talk, but I bet you're not around the homeless like I am.
and nobody was trying to like disparage them. We're saying that somebody asked the question, how would they access their wealth? How would they know about it? And while we know a lot of them are, I worked in many medical school programs, and we actually had programs where the medical students would provide service and aid to the homeless, and a great deal of them are on drugs. It's a proof, it's a documented fact. Not everybody, of course. And then you have some that rather be homeless than to be in this beast system. They'd rather be homeless than, go to work, or some of them were pushed into being homeless. I will say that. But no, we're just saying that there are a lot they're addicted to drugs. That's just a proven fact. However, the bigger picture, it's interesting the way people would pick the small thing and generally get all upset and want to critique that, when the bigger thing we were saying is that they will have access to their wealth. They know where to go. They know the programs, and those don't, it's okay, because we'll create humanitarian programs for those people.
Mm-hmm.
That was what the statement we were trying to make. Cat's Meow, somebody send my condolences to Cat's Meow. Did I see that somebody passed in her family? We are sending you love and comforting energies, Cat's Meow. We're so sorry to hear. I'm so heartbroken to hear that someone I think it said your son was homeless. I think she said her son was homeless and passed. Oh man, that hurts my heart. That hurts my heart. All right, Chief. Somebody said, I am the Cat's Meow said, ops in the chat. If you don't want universal income, don't accept it and live your best life.
Exactly.
All right.
I am in the holistic store right now, and I
Okay.
love being in here. Get me some copper.
Oh, copper.
That was
Oh, I didn't know they sold silver in the holistic store. I always go online to get mine.
so I'm gonna show. I love being in here. As we want to know why she looks so good at 55. But you see what I'm doing. I'm living intentionally.
Yes.
Yeah. You got
If
the
you want,
black seed, all that right there. So
I need some more.
I do all that.
What's that? You cleaning the parasites from
Yeah,
detoxing?
I'm doing a flush and cleanse right now. So they got the elderberry, you got the hydrogen peroxide, 35% food grade. You
Mm.
got the clean soap, black seed soap, no natural soaps. I don't use regular soaps at the stores. I use natural soap. I don't use y'all to loosen that baby oil and lotion that clogging the pores up. I use virgin coconut oil
Mm.
on this golden brown skin of mine. Yeah,
Ah.
so that's where I am right now. So I'm in
Okay.
hog heaven right now. I'm releasing endorphins right now.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
guys.
okay. Cass Meow lost her son 5 years ago. She's
Catch me out. My heart goes out. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Oh man.
With my
Yes.
condolences go out to you, catch me out. Wow.
Mm, so sorry, sister.
You care, you guys know what I was saying that we're gonna have to get our hearts ready.
Yes, sir.
I remember that dream I told you I had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm saying we're gonna have to get ourselves ready because some of our family won't be able to make it through.
Mm.
So our
Okay.
hearts go out, you catch me out. The soul tribe is here. When you need somebody to talk to, you can reach out to me and Dr. Kia.
Absolutely. Anybody want to get a hold to Chief for a consultation or for a trust in order to live outside the jurisdiction of the people in power? You want to live in the private, just learn to live in the private. You can reach out to him to unityemotion45@yahoo.com. Family, it has been such a great joy spending time with you all today. We're on, this is what, Saturday? You guys have been with us for 4 hours today,
Wow.
and we really appreciate you. We love you so very much. We know you got, I was going to say, go out and make this a great day. But my grandson always say, how do you know they're not already having a great day, Granny? I said, okay. He said, some people are already having a great day. They don't have to go and make something great. It's like, okay. So family, continue to live your most amazing life. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. You heard from Chief Mac. We trust that we've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. We love you, family.
Yeah, take care.
All right, Chief. Talk to you soon.
Raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day.
For the private members, we're going to have a meeting either tomorrow or the next day.
Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth.
Private group, we will be having a meeting hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to see when Chief can come in and talk to us more about the trust and what to do once we get that trust in our hands, because there's a process to fund the trust and you need to know what to do with some of the paperwork that comes along with that. So I'm going to ask Chief if he can do that tomorrow or the following day. In the meantime, I'll put something in the private group for us to watch as it relates to our investments. I love you, family.
From currencies to investments divine. She's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do.
Oh my gosh, Tony, from your lips to Yahweh's ears. Bruce said this weekend, we certainly hope so. Notifications might go into the week for foreign currency exchanges. Let's send high vibrations out for that to happen. See you later, my girl. Awesome. I am.
For one and all, Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Thank you for saying that, Sister Reem. Let us know how we can support you, sister. So, Sister Reem says, Dr. Key, I said that because I'm one of the homeless. Thank you so much for saying that, sister. Sometimes we just have to hear, from people who are in certain situations so we can learn not to generalize. If there is a way we can support you, sister, send me an email at kiapruitt@gmail.com. And I'll see what the Soul Tribe can do to support you. We love you and we're here for you.
Scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul Tribe.
Welcome, Sister Janine. We sure will do that. We're going to ask Chief to come back. He said he would, to talk about the trust, to go into detail in the private group. Love you, Sister Janine. Love you, Soul Tribe. It's so hard. It's so hard to say goodbye to you all. I love y'all so much. Right, Sister Janine, you send me pictures of those beautiful mansions and it just inspires me and encourages my soul. Girl, send me some of them pictures. We getting ready for our wealth.
Breaking chains that hold us close, teaching past to abundance and wealth.
Sing, grandson.
Guiding others to
themselves. So try rising, hear the call,
Raising vibrations for one and all.
Dr.
Sing, grandson.
shows the way to a bright,
Freer day. Hey.
from currencies to investments from the light. She's helping her shine to
Sister Reem, Mystical Energy wants to know where you're located. Send me an email of all the information you want me to know about you, and we will gather the troops to support you, sis. Thank you, Mystical, for asking that question.
Man. Ooh, a family compound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you found it. It's hard to find it sometimes because there's a bunch of just forests.
My grandson said he's glad you found it. Thank you. He's been looking for land too. Thank you, sister. Okay, Sister Janine.
Oh, hi.
Tony
You
said
recognize my voice.
he sure did. They're saying hi to you.
Hi.
When's your birthday, Tony? Is today your birthday? Happy birthday! He wanted to share his birthday with us. Oh my gosh. Tony, put your Cash App in the chat and we'll go live. When we go live, either later tonight or tomorrow, we'll share it with the Soul Tribe. He said, go ahead, Ross, sing it. They know who you are.
Hey there.
The family wants to help you out, Sister Reem. Thank you, Mystical, for saying you want to help.
Ooh, I hear that thunder outside.
Happy solar return. All right, it's his birthday, Tony. Please put your Cash App in the comment section or send me an email, kiapruitt@gmail.com, or send it to the private group email so we can support you. Sister Janine's been looking for land in Florida. Reem McDowell says the house is a suburb of Tampa, Florida. Ooh, we love Tampa. We just love Florida. Okay, family, it's time to go. Y'all, thank you for being patient with me while I was sneaking bites of my food. While Chief was talking, I was hungry.
It's okay.
You think
You can't go without food for 3 hours.
It was longer than 3. Was it?
Almost 4.
Yes. Let's talk to you soon, family. Say bye, Ra.
Bye.
We love you all. They won't let you open your account. Do you have PayPal, Tony? You have Zelle. Okay, email it to me. You can email me your email address, and I think we can send you something on Zelle if you send us your email. And remember, Reem, we need your information. Email me at kiapruitt@gmail.com so we can see how we can support you. And what state? Make sure you tell me, Reem, what state you're in. Are you in the state of Florida? Because we don't like hearing that our family, we don't like hearing anybody's in trouble. We do have a special obligation to the Soul Family, Soul Tribe. An obligation to everybody. It's just that you're here with us and you've been supporting us. We want to make sure we support you.
Tampa. Yeah, Tampa.
Somebody said, join my private group. Dr. Kia, you finally joined a group, Anna. Yay. We're going to talk about the private trust, okay? The next showtime. And Sister Janine sent me some information about currencies. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all the tea. Girl, yes, Tampa is beautiful.
Okay, I'll look for land in Tampa too, then.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Tampa is landlocked, so we're gonna look on the outskirts of Tampa.
Like near the coast, at least.
You think it should be near the coast? I would think it would be more inland. No,
like at least 25 minutes or less.
Okay.
We don't want to be driving an hour to the beach.
This one, they love the beach. These children, I tell you, being in Florida, they are beach babies. All right, good night. So try to go out and make this great. But Rob always says it might be great already. What do you say if they're already having a great day? I say go out and make it a great day. You say, what if they're already having a great day? You don't want me to assume people aren't. So what do I say?
Make it greater.
Okay.
Make it greater. It's possible. It's possible. You may not see it, but it's somewhere in that air. Somewhere. Breathe it in.
Breathe it in. All right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good night, Soul Tribe.
Bye. Final last words. You about to say something?
Prayers up for Mel Carmine. What's going on with Mel Carmine, Crystal? Now, see, I'm going to have to call him. Before I go, can you tell me what's going on with him? Wesley Chapel, Sister Janine says, Wesley Chapel, look somewhere like Wesley Chapel. That's outside of Tampa. And I think that's one of the wealthiest zip codes in that area.
What? I thought that was a human. Oh, Wesley Chapel sounds such like a human name.
He probably is named after somebody. Carmine's in the hospital. Oh, Lord, let me call his wife, Amber. All right, thank you so much. Sister Janine, you hear that? I know you're a big fan of Mel's as well. Oh, my God, thank you. Oh, Lord. Oh, my girl. Oh, my God. I'm a little upset about that. Thank you. You'll email me. Thank you, Sister Ring. Carmine's in the hospital. Sister Janine said, teach, baby. Thank you, my love. All right, let's go so we can go call. I can call Mel Carmine and talk to him and his wife, Amber. All right, you all. Thank you. We really gonna go this time. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. You know that song, Rob?
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I'm so comfortable in your bed, Mom. I just want to have